Oh.
Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey! Oh, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way, oh, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hey, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls. Whispers in the window are angry waves. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Down to the mists as the ocean slaves. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Way-ho, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Now drop the anchor and grab some grog. Way, oh, the sea of souls. We'll make a new entry in the captain's log. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hey, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Oh, way, oh, the sea of souls. Way, oh, the sea of souls. Hoist the sails round the eddies and shoals. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Hey, oh, it's the sea of souls. Sea of souls.
Welcome, travelers, to the world of Eudora, a realm of chaos, a flat world literally held up by the pillars, ancient beings who first formed the world but, sadly, left it flawed. The tides of chaos break free every few thousand years to rip the world apart, leaving it reformed and alien to those fortunate, or perhaps unfortunate enough, to survive. Our adventure takes place in the Broken Isles, a region once dominated by land which sunk and split apart during the Deluge, the great flood that accompanied the last chaos tide nearly 800 years ago. This new world of seas and islands has become the crossroads of civilization, as the age of sails brings with it new discoveries and new threats. Nations vie for power even as forces gather to threaten them all. Pirates and marauders hunt the seas, while creatures of the deep cast hungry eyes towards the surface. Ancient foes and new, unexpected enemies ply their schemes. The year is 770 in the age of exploration, and the tides of chaos continue to threaten to drown all things in their wake. If the Broken Isles, indeed if Eudora herself, are to survive, the world will need heroes, whether they be willing or not. Enter 4 strangers, each with their own agendas and own reasons for joining a ragtag crew, who are about to set sail on the most dangerous sea of all, the Sea of Souls, where the drowned refuse to stay at the bottom, where the sea herself comes alive to feed on ships reckless enough to travel her dark waters. Mystery and adventure await. Ahoy there, adventurers! My name is Craig, aka Pundy, and I'll be DMing our Sea of Souls campaign, which takes place in this homebrew world I have lovingly brought to life. We hope that you enjoy everything that we are about to bring you.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of the Sea of Souls, our live stream campaign brought to you by the Elder Brain. We are the Elder Brain. We are just a bunch of nerdy guys hanging out playing D&D, and obviously we're doing a little bit of a Halloween-ish thing. I mean, it's not Halloween, but it was Halloween's past weekend, so we thought we'll kind of dress up and do some fun stuff. Should we do character? Should we do our costume introductions?
This is actually really awkward. Nobody told me that we were going to be dressing up for this.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know, Jack. We're interrupting you.
Yeah, I had to come in. I'm just hanging out here in my street clothes. You guys, if you could give me a little bit of a heads up next time, that would be great. I feel really embarrassed right now.
I apologize for that. We forgot to send that memo out, and that's on me. That's my bad. I am the dead pirate Roberts, and I really hope that everybody gets that reference because it's a movie that literally everyone should watch.
Oh, I'm really shamed right now. What movie is that?
No!
Oh no!
What? No, Mike!
I'm sorry. What movie?
It's inconceivable.
That is inconceivable.
What movie?
Princess Bride?
That you would not know.
Oh, I've seen that movie once.
Oh my dear God. The rest of us could probably recite it for you if you have.
I imagine you maybe could.
Mike, I might need to give you the axe now. I mean,
yeah.
it's just...
That's all right. I'll start rolling a new character. It's all good.
Devin, who are you this evening?
Vampire Talon at your service.
Vampire Talon. Foreshadowing. I mean, what?
What? Whoa.
What?
Whoa. Spoilers. You're supposed to say spoilers before stuff like that.
Sorry. We're new to this. We're a bunch of noobs, so I forgot the spoiler warning. My bad. We've established that Jack is on vacation. That's his
Vacation Jack. Nice.
Vacation Jack.
More of a staycation, really.
Vacation. Yes, there we go. Staycation.
I'm just busy trying to keep my hat on while I have these headphones. Is Herculean of a task.
That's why I tried to get this thing to stay on, but it just it doesn't work with.
Just not playing nice.
Just not playing nice. Yeah. Ian.
I don't think I actually picked a character or anything. It's just generic Star Trek guy. I'm wearing a yellow shirt, but I'm wearing this is original series yellow shirt, so I'm.
Mm-hmm. At least you're not wearing red, so chances of surviving this episode are good.
That would be a big spoiler if he'd worn red.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And Mike, who's only watched The Princess Bride once, what?
Well, I mean, if you guys would like, I could go back in time and give Jack that memo. But I'm the 14th Doctor.
Oh, okay.
He's Doctor Whoever.
I'm Doctor Whoever. Doctor Who cares. I have a sonic screwdriver from a couple Halloweens ago, so I've got a big jacket that's gonna be way too hot. I'm gonna have to take off in like a half hour, but
Doctor Who?
Doctor what?
There we go. It's the American version.
Yeah,
That's the American
Dr.
version of Doctor Who. Doctor what? Doctor Huh?
Hey, Darcy, welcome to the party.
All right. So last time on our premiere episode of Sea of Souls, we joined our crew of 4 adventurers who set sail aboard the Intrepid Devil, a ship captained by one Connor Boone, a dwarf of some reputation who is known to take on jobs and tasks and trade routes and like that. Many other captains would kind of shy away from. And he was given such a task, a journey which would require the ship and its crew to sail directly across the Sea of Souls, a body of water which is normally avoided because of all the stories about it. It's called the Sea of Souls for a reason, and it is rumored to be haunted, and so most ships take kind of the roundabout journey. But the job was a rush delivery to the Isle of Morn and the Ivory Spire with triple pay, and the captain felt it was worth it. So they set sail directly across the sea, encountered some interesting phenomenon along the way, including some odd mist and a couple of not quite dead creatures crawling out of the sea to assault the ship. But surviving that, they pressed on to continue their journey towards the port of the Ivory Spire. And that is where we pick up this week. So, gentlemen, you've been at sea for a number of days now, and it's you can start to kind of get used to the environs. That at first the crew was really uncomfortable with the trek, and especially after some of the encounters so far, it left more than one sailor feeling a little bit uneasy about the entire thing. But as the ship continues its course, and no worse for wear, considering everything that's transpired so far, spirits are up, as up as they could be.
Spirits.
And you're probably about a couple of days out of port at this point. So before we go into some rolls for those last few days, is there anything that you would like to take care of while on the ship?
I seem to recall that Dinar had been snooping around the hold a little bit.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
And I know that Flick is he's not officially in charge of inventory management and stuff, but he kind of has made himself in charge of that. So you think
Graciously volunteered.
Yes, quite. Has he noticed any tampering or anything while he's been down doing his counts and inspections and stuff?
How thorough of an inspection would Flick be doing?
Depending on how rough the seas have been, if we've been having pretty steady weather and nothing shifted around, then probably just eyeballing it from, poke your head down every day or so just to make sure nothing's moved.
All right, give me a perception check then.
Perception. I love
for a once over.
And drum roll. I clicked it. I promise I clicked it.
It disagrees with you.
There we go.
Hey,
there we go.
That was worth waiting for.
Everything seems a-okay.
Hey, Captain, everything looks tickety-boo down below. I'm going to stay up here in the crow's nest and keep an eye out for bad weather and bad people.
Good. Speaking of Donar.
Yep.
Are you continuing your
oh yeah,
illicit investigation?
Yeah. It's too curious. What is this iron ore?
You get caught.
That's true.
So you were trying to pry open one of the crates very slowly,
yeah,
and discreetly. So why don't you go ahead and give me another check
for that. You didn't have a pry bar. You were just trying to kind of use your nails, like
using my claws.
your claws to pick away at that. Yeah. So yeah, I'll let you use a. I think I gave you acrobatics on the last time. Or was it athletics?
I don't remember, honestly. I'm better at athletics, but I'll do whatever you want me to roll.
Go ahead, and make it athletics. Just okay. raw. Your athletic ability as you try to like pry into this crate lid and lift it off.
That is a 15 plus athletics 2, so 17.
17. Okay. So you've worked at it a little bit. You've managed to get a couple of nails out of the top. Kind of discreetly hiding them off to the side as you can work your way along. And you finally have gotten to a point now where you've removed enough of the nails to kind of get your claws, right in underneath the lid and just. And you manage to pop it off, and there's just a little bit of dust that kind of pops up. It seems that this crate has been sealed for a while, but the lid is open.
All right. I guess I'll take a look inside. What do I see?
Inside the crate, you see bars of iron.
It's just straight up bars of iron.
Straight up ingots of iron. It appears that when they said it was a shipment of iron, that is very literally and simply what it is. It's a shipment of iron.
Is the lid off? Or up enough that I could reach in?
Yeah.
I want to pull out a couple of the bars and see if they're sitting on top of anything.
Okay.
If there is something secret underneath the bars, if the bars are not an illusion, but if there's 2 layers of bars and then something secret for the next 6 inches or something.
Okay. Give me an investigation check then.
Okay.
You start to dig a little bit deeper.
10 plus 3, 13.
13. Okay. It takes you a little bit. These are fairly heavy. They are solid iron ingots, so you kind of try to, move one, kind of quietly take a couple out of the crate, dig in a little bit. As far as you can tell, it's just stacked rows of iron ingots.
Dinar's a little disappointed. He's going to put the lid back down and just throw the nails to the side. It's a waste of time.
Okay.
Yeah, but it kept you busy.
It kept him busy. At that disappointing revelation, Dinar will leave the hold and join the crew on the deck.
Okay. So as we get into the final 2 days of the planned final 2 days of the journey, let's go ahead and have a D20 rolled, please, by, I believe it was Torque that was taking care of these rolls for us.
I did take point on that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
You did indeed.
No whammies.
Give us a straight D20 roll,
Wolf.
Mr. Torque.
Did we decide low is good? I think that's what we established last time. In fact, I think we established that 7 was the best possible roll I could make.
Lucky 7, right?
Yeah, lucky old 7. Yeah.
Well, 7 is a good roll. The second to last day proceeds without anything preventing the ship's journey, anything directly assaulting the ship. However, Flick, as you are manned up, or goblined, I suppose, up in the crow's nest, kind of keeping a general watch, something catches your eye, not ahead of you, but off in the distance behind you. It's a clear day, but you do seem to see some sort of mist just slowly rising up from the water, probably about 3 or 4 miles off behind the ship.
I will call down to the helm. Hey, Captain.
Yeah.
We got more of that crazy fog astern if you want to take a look.
It's the same as the mist from last time.
Looks like it, but I think we're past it. How do you think it can catch us?
You tell me. You're up there. You've got a good
I'll
eye
keep
for
an eye
these
on it
kind
for
of
a bit.
things.
I'll keep an eye on it and see if it is closing with us or whether we're getting away.
Okay, give me a perception check.
Perception. All right.
Perception.
This time for sure. Hey, there we go.
There we go. You're keeping a really close eye on this fog or this mist or whatever it is that's just kind of slowly rising, and it doesn't seem to be spreading out. It seems to be kind of localized in sort of this one kind of cluster, this clump, and it's a little bit different. It doesn't have that same kind of thickness as the fog that you sailed through. It does seem to kind of be a little bit more actual mist-like. However, you do see something. It's hard to make out exactly what it is, but there's some sort of dark shape or shadow or something towards the center of this grouping of mist. Watching it for a little while, it doesn't seem to get any closer, but it doesn't seem to get any farther away either, which gives you the idea that it might be keeping pace with you.
I'll report this to the captain and like, so Captain, I don't think it's not the same thing. Now I'm wondering.
So it's just mist then.
It's fog for sure, but I'm wondering if I was, say, a pirate on the Sea of Souls, I might like to camouflage my ship in a bank of fog, and there is something in the middle of this little fog cloud that I can't quite pick out. And it's keeping pace with us, so could be a ship in there.
You see the captain's face visibly pale a little bit. Sorry. Did you say there's a ship in the middle of the fog?
It could be a ship. Is that bad?
We're on a sea that's known to be haunted.
So...
And there's a ship appearing out of nowhere in the middle of fog.
I see.
Perhaps you can put two and two together.
I see where you're going with this, Captain Boone. Should I call action stations or just keep an eye on it for now?
Well, let's just keep an eye and keep our course. If it is what it appears to be and it does decide to come our way, there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it anyway.
True enough.
Just do me a favor and don't tell the crew about this.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
It won't be upset them. Let's just, you keep an eye on it, and if anything changes about it, you let me know, but let's just go. Keep going. Maybe pick up speed a little bit as well. And you can see there's a physical nervousness to him.
All right, Captain. You're the captain.
Yes, I am.
He'll scamper back up to the lookout and surreptitiously keep an eye on this fog cloud.
All right. As you keep watch over it, it seems to be keeping pace with you for a couple of hours, but eventually the fog kind of dissipates. And as the fog dissipates, that shape, what you would expect, when fog clears, you can see what's there a little bit more clearly. But whatever that shadow in the middle of it was, seems to vanish with the fog as well, until there is just smooth seas behind you once more. Nothing on the horizon.
Huh. Well, that was creepy. As the couple of hours have passed, and as it has cleared, I'll let the captain know that our shadowy pursuer is no longer back there, Captain. You can unclench now.
Hey, I'll do that. Let's just hope we don't see it again. Ill omen and such.
Yeah, I'll keep my eyes peeled. Don't you worry.
You do that. Appreciate it. You get up to that crow's nest pretty quickly, faster than most other sailors I've seen. It's quite impressive, actually.
I'm a natural climber. What can I say?
That comes in handy out here, it does. So good to have you aboard.
Good to be here, Captain.
All right. Again, let's not mention this to anyone, and we'll just keep going.
Back to my roost then.
You see, kind of like looking behind the ship, just like. Okay.
See you at dinner time. Back up he goes.
All right. Give me an insight check, if you would.
Sure. Oh, Flick reads the soul.
Yeah. It's pretty easy for you to tell that Captain Boone is he's not letting on that, or he's trying not to let on that he knows much more about this mysterious ship than he's telling you. There's a reason why it has visibly shaken him to the core, just the idea of hearing about this ship in the mist. And you haven't been with the crew long, but even the time that you spent aboard the ship, even sailing into the mist and stuff they had before, you haven't really seen the captain get that visibly nervous about anything. He kind of has that reputation of just really kind of being solid in the face of danger, not really cowering for anything, but whatever that ship was, it seems to not be the first time he's seen it, and it's definitely got him quite shaken.
All right.
Yeah.
I probably won't press the issue with him, but I will hit up my learned allies at my next opportunity.
Okay. We'd probably have time, like kind of at the shift change in the evening, as you head down into the hold to find a cot to sleep on, more or less.
Hey, Tay-Tay, and hey, Big D, can circle around.
Oh, I think Tayland and Dinar were currently engaged in a conversation that was very one-sided, and that Tayland kept asking for war stories about being a Marine.
Dinar was not really willing to have that conversation.
And where's the little guy? Is that very good. Let's huddle up for a moment here.
What's going on,
sound
Flick?
of just deck boards creaking.
What is it, Flick? I think I've almost worn this old boy down.
Well,
No.
I don't mean to alarm anyone, but I was up on watch earlier today and caught sight of something behind us. Seemed to be keeping pace with us, tracking us. It was like this fog cloud with a something in the middle of it. So, being a good watchman and all, I go and I tells the captain, and it freaked him out a little bit. He didn't raise the alarm or anything, but he's definitely trying to coax a little bit more out of the sails for the next couple of hours till the thing went away. That ringing any bells for anyone?
I have possibly heard something about this, either during my studies or from any of the sailors at the various taverns.
Give me a history check.
Could Dinar check on that as well?
I would say yeah. As an experienced sailor, you can give me a history
You could
check.
do the health action, and just one person gives the other advantage.
I was gonna say I would rather give the help action to Dinar.
Yeah, because I am
your
trained in
is much
history.
better than
Yeah.
mine, yeah.
And you're smart.
We could say that you guys put your heads together, yeah, and
Compare
I heard
notes.
a
Compare
shanty
notes.
about this thing.
try to figure that out. Yeah.
All right. So rolling with advantage.
Yes.
Yes.
Go for
Okay.
it. Yep. Yeah.
Oh. Well, it's not awful. I have a +5.
Better than my
But
+0.
my highest roll was a 6, so 11.
Oh.
11.
Yeah.
Trying to think back to your time serving in the Garngrim Navy, and all kinds of stories from the seas. Having a hard time picking through, thinking about anything specific in regards to a mysterious ship surrounded in fog. Doesn't ring a bell.
Thought I'd ask, but it did have the captain a little shook, so I would definitely let you know if I see it again. I'll let you all know.
You're saying
Or
this
just lumbers
was
off.
Flick, you're saying this was fog?
Well, yeah, it wasn't quite like the fog that we went through. It was like the fog came from the ship. I'm assuming it's a ship. It was something on the water that was obscured by fog. That's what I saw. It was a couple miles in the stern, but it was keeping pace with us for at least a couple of hours.
I don't have the ability to do it today, but maybe tomorrow I can show you what a magical fog would look like, and you could tell me how it compares.
Well, here, this is what, and I'll just minor illusion, a very small copy of it in my hand. This is what it looked like.
Does it look like Dinar's fog cloud spell?
I would say no.
No. Okay. No, that does not look like what I can produce.
He just sort of grabs it before the captain sees.
That's concerning.
It's not like the captain to be like that. It must have been
Gotta be
exceedingly
something.
worrisome.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a ghost ship that his great granddaddy ran into or something. Who knows? We're on the Sea of Souls. It's the haunted ocean, right? So, like Captain says, spooky clouds that follow you for a couple hours. You're gonna want to keep an eye on it. He seemed unusually shook by it. That's all.
I have heard various songs about ghost ships. It's a common thing for sailors to discuss. In fact, you'd be surprised if you were to believe every tale they told you at all the different pubs and bars. You'd think the ocean was nigh unnavigationable. What
That's
with
'cause
all
they
the
don't have any
sirens and harpies and mermaids and marrows and ghosts and ghost ships.
Giant turtles.
Giant turtles, Leviathan, that's a big one.
Yeah, we never mind.
But how many of them ships had a goblin lookout? Come on, yeah? Yeah?
You might be surprised, Flick.
Ah, do tell.
Nope. Nope, I've already said too much.
Nope.
That's a good segue right there.
I'll get those stories from you.
We'll see.
All right. As we head into the final day of the voyage, Mr. Torque, will you roll us one more d20, please? All right. You can see the shoreline ahead of you now on the final day, and the Isle of Morn, upon which the Ivory Spire sits, is not a small island. It's quite large, and it's known for very tall cliffs that surround most of the island. The port, in fact, where you're headed to, and those of you who were on the ship already when it made the journey here, it's one of the only spots really on the island that has kind of a beach at sea level. The rest of the island is just cliffs all the way around. And so at this point, you can already see, as the morning mist clears, you can see these tall, towering cliffs, miles ahead in the distance. And even rising up higher above that, in the bright morning sun, you can see the glistening white tower, no doubt the Ivory Spire. And seeing it from even this distance just gives you an idea of the immense size of this thing and how high it rises up into the sky. And as you begin to approach, sort of the darkness of the water seems to recede as well, and you kind of sail into more normal looking water. It's got that kind of bluish green tint, something that you would expect to see, that dark shadowy presence that's kind of clung to the water for most of the journey starts to fade away. And it's an absolutely beautiful day. And Flick, you'd be the first to notice this again as you're up on the crow's nest. You see just off to the port side, probably about 50 yards off or so, you can see a number of shapes just quickly kind of swimming along, darting through the water, disappearing for a minute, coming back. It appears that a school of dolphins has taken an interest in the ship and is kind of swimming along, not getting too close, but playfully kind of coming in a little bit close and then, jumping out of the water, disappearing. Seems to be curious, vaguely curious at your presence, and is just accompanying you for the while.
Hey, Captain. I'll call down again.
Hey.
Spotted something a little nicer this time. Off the port bow, we got a company.
Company that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
On the Sea of Souls.
Well, I haven't been a sailor for long, but even I know that dolphins are good luck. And I sort of point them out.
Indeed. Why don't you scamper on down and give that bell 4 rings?
Aye, aye, skipper. Down he comes. Ring 4 bells. Ding, 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 ding.
Dinar and Talon, you would recognize 4 bells as simply a sign of merriment or joy or good luck, something to see. It's just kind of to get the attention of the ship, but not in an alarming way. And so you hear the 4 bells ringing on deck, calling for the ship's attention.
How far off the ship are they? Just out of curiosity.
They're like 50 yards.
50 yards. Oh, it's
like half a football field.
Okay.
We'll take a look.
Yeah, Dinar 2.
Not close enough for me to play with them. That was the key.
Not quite close enough. Yeah, as you stay on the ship and watch, it's a nice reprieve from sort of the darker journeys of the previous days. They never get close enough to really kind of interact with the ship. They definitely seem to be keeping their distance. So there's a curiosity, but a cautiousness in their presence as well. But it is a nice morale boost for the crew, actually, as these dolphins just kind of play along and seem to swing along alongside the crew for a while. And
Come on, you young sailors, and listen to me, and I'll sing you a song of the fish and the sea.
As Talon goes into a couple shanties as well, while the crew watches on. So the crew gets a morale boost from this day and ups their quality score a little bit, just having their spirits lifted by seeing the dolphins at play.
I think Torque is kind of standing off apart from the rest of the crew, and he's the only one not looking down at the dolphins. He's currently sort of transfixed on the Ivory Spire, just kind of staring straight up at that, just sort of motionless.
Okay. Good to know. So the rest of you see that. You see your quiet turtle friend just eyes locked on the approaching horizon. As you draw closer into the island, the magnificence of this spire becomes even more apparent. And you can see now that, as opposed to just being one sort of tall structure, there are parts where there's parts that kind of break off and separate spires, pop out here and there, all kinds of different shapes. And the crazy thing about this structure, this tower, is that it appears to be more grown than constructed. There's a very natural kind of flowing feel to it, and it's hard to see. It's hard to imagine that anything this size could be constructed by natural means, but understanding again that this is a home of wizards and sorcerers and arcane researchers. It all kind of comes to fruition in your mind as you realize this is something of a magical creation. The arcane has played a big role in essentially growing this tower through magical means and creating this structure that just towers way above anything else around it. You can only imagine what the view would be from the top of the spire, looking out across the sea from miles in all direction. As the ship approaches the port, you can see now that there is a red and black flag that has been raised on the mast, and Talon, Talon and Dinar, you would recognize this as a flag of caution.
Caution for those on board or caution for those on shore?
It is a port would raise this flag, just signifying ships that are coming in to just be on alert, to be on guard. It's not a stay away, but it's a just be on guard.
Okay.
On guard for weather or on guard for bad guys or what kind of like?
More along the lines of like an unnatural threat. So not like a bad weather, but more could be raiders, could be monsters, could be just something of an unnatural
Civil unrest in town, something. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The captain calls attention to it as well, and he says, I think that's the first time I've ever seen that flag being raised at Ivory Spire port before. So, all eyes open as we'll sail in at half sail. Just take our time a little bit getting in there and keep your eyes open all around. It could be any sort of threat. I've never seen that here before, though. That's troubling.
Well, Captain, maybe we're the answer to their problem, right? We got the needed shipment of iron ore that they desperately need to solve the flag issue.
Sure. Could
I'll
be.
go back I'm going back up top.
Well, whatever it is, let's hope it's nothing that'll interfere with our business at all.
Bundle of positivity, that flick.
Of course.
It'll be a shame when life decides to really hit him.
Such a depressing thought.
Happens to us all.
Says Taylor with like a bottle in his hand.
Oh yeah.
All right. As the Intrepid Devil slowly pulls into port, you see that this port, it's not really a town. It pretty much is a large pier. It's a stone pier that is being constructed, and you see at most about half a dozen buildings, most of which appear to be, warehouses or storehouses of some sort. You can see one building that seems to serve as a sort of tavern or sleeping quarters, and that's about it. There doesn't seem to be anything else around this port, but you do see a well-constructed paved road that just leads away from the dock and deeper inland into the island. As the ship makes its berth at the pier, there are a number of dock hands that come out and catch the ropes and kind of tie it off as the plank is pulled out. And you see a really rugged-looking individual. It's actually hard to tell. He looks like he might have some dwarven heritage to him, but he's taller than you would expect for a dwarf. And his head is just completely shaved bald, and he's got this really like patchwork white beard. There's like kind of part of it is like long on one side, and it looks like part of it almost looks like it got like blasted off or burned. There's parts kind of growing out of here. You can see some hair kind of growing out of his ears as well. Definitely an older individual. And he stands there waiting to greet all of you and the captain as you step off. Hi, Captain Boone. It's good to see you. You made it on time, which means that you must have made it across the Sea of Souls with nary an encounter of the unusual type, I would say. So, welcome to the port. It's good to see all of you. I think I've seen a couple of you before, but I think you got some new faces here as well. A turtle. I ain't seen a turtle on board a ship before. What's your name, big fella?
Torque.
Torque. Nice, simple enough name. The name's Thomas. Thomas Connor. It's a pleasure to meet you. Welcome to the Ivory Port.
Just kind of gives him a nod.
Right. And, you're, interesting looking dragon, fella. A lot paler than ones I've seen. Are you sickly?
No, I'm not sickly.
Well, that's good. We don't want any diseases coming into port now.
Definitely not.
I don't mean to be rude, but I never seen no scales with that kind of shine before.
No, I don't
Right as
imagine.
the morning sun they are.
I don't imagine that you have seen anyone quite like me. Few and far between are us lucent dragons.
Are you what now?
Yeah, you heard, yeah.
Right.
Lucent. Lucent.
Your name's Lucent?
No, the name is Dinar.
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 Pleasure to meet you, Dinar. Tom.
Tom. Okay, Thomas.
Thomas.
Pleasure to meet you, yes.
You can call me either, it's fine. I'll answer to either. Simply call me Old Connor as well, and I mean, well, actually that might get a bit confusing since your captain's name is Connor Boone. His first name's Connor, my last name's Connor. It's a bit of a running joke. Ain't that right, Captain Boone? I kind of get tired of that one, actually. Anyway, so you got the shipment. You made it here in time. Everything's a-okay. You didn't lose anything, lose anyone. Everything's good then. He kind of looks at you, Talon, like, I remember you from previous time through here. Everything okay? You keeping the captain busy, keeping him straight and narrow.
Oh, of course. You know me. Always try to keep them
Sort
on
of.
narrow.
I mean, I've met you once, so I can't really say I know you, but...
Yeah, once is enough, though, isn't it?
It would appear not, since you're here again. It would make twice.
Well, I'm not here on my own will, of course. I do what the captain says for now.
Hey, that's a good sailor you be, then. Following the captain's orders. All right, well, if you... I'm assuming you're going to be, staying in the berth over there for the evening. You got any pressing plans, Captain? You setting out again? The Captain just kind of looks at the four of you. We'll probably head back to Easthold eventually, but I think we'll
Perhaps
stay,
north.
right? If duty calls us that way or business calls us that way, then we can go north. You sound like you have something in mind there, Thomas. Oh, I do. Well, we can talk about business later on this evening, perhaps. But first, I'd like to inspect the cargo and make sure everything's right. Make sure that nothing's gone missing, right? We want to make sure, there's a big price on this one. So my dock hands are just going to go ahead and take a look on board, if you don't mind, just waiting while they have a look-see. And we'll head on over to the office here and just make sure all the paperwork is in order and such. And then we can get to paying you that mighty fine sum that the Spire is willing to hand out to you. I gotta tell you, this they don't usually pay this much for a shipment, so I'll tell you the truth, I don't even know what it is. It's not my job to know, just to know that it's arrived and that it's in good condition and that it's what they asked for. So everything go okay with the shipment?
It's in perfect shape. Come on down, I'll show you guys, and bring the strong ones, because it ain't light.
We'll take care of that with those right over there. And he points to these essentially large crane constructions that you can actually see have like big wheels, like wooden wheels on them. Dinar, you've seen similar contraptions like this, pretty common in Stormhaven. Definitely dwarven design. There's a lot of gear work and mechanical engineering to it that is pretty impressive. And you see a number of individuals, dockhands, just kind of rolling these things down the pier towards the ship, even as the crew on deck are kind of opening up the hold to gain access to it. So, about payment, presuming that everything is in good arrays, well, Captain, do you want to discuss that privately, or is it okay to do that out in the open here? Captain just kind of waves a hand towards his compatriot. I pay these guys to take care of things on the ship, so they're sort of sailors, but they're more sort of companions and adventuring types, so you can speak plainly in front of them. They have a right to know. Right. Good then. Well, your cut, since you're the ones who've been paid to guard this cargo, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you're all getting 100 gold pieces each, you are.
Sweet Christmas. I'm rich.
I was about to say where you were working for exposure.
Aye, that's right. Yes, I will put your names out there. That's your payment. No, 100 gold. Now, mind you, the Ivory Spire, they're not short of coinage by any means, but
More gold than I've ever seen in my life.
Mm.
well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. So this must be a pretty important shipment for them to be paying. You know, this sort of sum. It's quite a bit. But,
Or kind of is just going to lean over to Talon and be like, 100 is a lot of gold. Is this correct?
It's a rather large sum, yes.
I have not been present to keep up with inflation rates.
Let's just say if I had this in my youth, things would have gone very differently.
Put it this way, my fine turtle friend. 100 fish is more than one fish. Consider these to be 100 big fish.
Like really big fish.
Aye, like tuna.
I was gonna say whales, but yeah.
Well, let's not get.
And up jumps the whale, the largest of all.
It's like the tuna of coins. You got quite a big sized tuna, and
With all due respect, sir,
I haven't really thought this analogy out, but you know,
I believe we may be veering off topic.
probably. You're right on that. Anyway, if I were you, I wouldn't go advertising that you got that much gold. That's more than your average sailors. You know what they'll earn in a couple in years of service aboard a ship. So
Don't have to tell
Good
me
way to get
twice.
shanked in an alley.
yes,
Flick certainly has the idea.
right. I don't think I want to be asking any more about that.
Yeah.
Don't need to know.
No additional stories behind that particular comment. So hey,
Insight check.
Insight check.
Do we believe him? Dinar certainly does. He rolled a 1.
Awesome.
You have no idea what he's talking about.
No idea what he's talking about.
Let's just say Flick understands that life and death is like in the gutters.
I have spent my time being the downtrodden, so I understand when people want to take things from you. That's all. Say,
It's not just the downtrodden who want to take things from you.
Mr. Tom,
Aye.
what's with the warning flag anyway?
Aye. Well, that'd be about the other matter that I was going to discuss with you, some business opportunity, as it were. So if you don't mind, give me a couple hours to oversee just the unloading of the cargo here. And why don't we meet at the berth, which is that tavern building just at the end of the dock there. Maybe in about 2 hours or so. Just after noon, we'll have a drink and a meal, and you folks can accompany the captain here, and we'll discuss what the dangers might be.
Sorry, but if we're supposed to be on alert, shouldn't we be made aware of that well in advance?
Well, it's not going to do anything for you while you're in dock right now. You made it here just fine, so it's not something I really want to advertise out loud. Again, one of those more on the down low sort of
You
situation.
don't want to advertise, but you put a flag up.
Well, a general warning flag, yes, but the specifics of the situation is something that we don't necessarily want being. It's kind of a tricky situation. So, just if you'll join me for a drink in a couple of hours, then I promise that it'll be worth your while, and I can tell you what is.
As long as you're buying.
Is that when we're gonna get paid?
We'll take care of that. We're just going to make sure that everything on the ship is as it's supposed to be, that the shipment is all there, and then your payment will be coming to you. One of my officiants here will take care of that. We'll be bringing actually they'll bring it to the captain, and the captain will be responsible for divvying it out to you. But you can trust Captain Boone. He's a right sort, ain't he?
Well, a couple hours, you say. Tavern,
Aye.
That sounds like hey, Taylor. Sounds like we got a couple hours to go warm up the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. You don't have to ask me more than once. That's for darn sure.
Looking around the port, there doesn't seem to be much else in the way of establishments either. It's basically warehouses, and they call it the berth, and that's the
My
only
kind of town.
building. Yeah.
Dinar is not going to go right to the tavern.
Okay.
Dinar would like to find a vantage point where he can take a better look at this spire. Doesn't want to go too far from the group, but just try to get a vantage point on this spire.
You know,
It's magic
Flick,
spire.
if we can get Dinar to come with us, we might be able to get him sauced up enough to give us some of his war stories.
I'm more looking for locals who might know something about our spooky cloud ship.
Well, that could be good too.
I mean, yeah, we got days to work on Big D there. He'll spill eventually. Don't you worry.
They always do.
Exactly.
Dinar, basically, you just need to look up, and you can see the spire. So the area that you're on, where the port is, you can see on the map here. Basically, you're in kind of the only lowlands of the island. The rest is all like kind of raised highlands, and then the spire itself. So from where you are on the beach, it's literally just kind of looking up, like in a northeast direction, and you just see the spire. It can
Okay.
be from everywhere on the island.
So let me clarify what Dinar is actually going to do then.
Okay.
Dinar wants to find a nice quiet corner where he can ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Pull out a little bit of string and some wood. Mutter some arcane words and bring about his invisible servant. Listen, I need you to go onto the ship into the hold, and I need you to find the nails that I threw on the ground. If any of the dock workers look like they're getting suspicious of an open crate, I want you to slip those nails into that man's pockets. And then maybe try to trip him so that he looks weird. That would be great.
Oh man. Wow. All right. That's
Oh.
yeah, okay. Your servant obeys and heads off unseen into the ship. Presumably carrying out your instructions to the best of its ability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Have we received pay at this point, or is that still to come?
You have not yet. They are currently
Okay.
inspecting the cargo, and so what Mr. Connor, Thomas Connor, had indicated was that assuming that everything is in order with the shipment, then payment would be handed to the captain, who would then divvy out to the rest of you.
I think Torque was also going to go down the beach to actually observe the tower. But I think while he's down there, depending on how you do this, I want to know if you would take notice of Dinar and what he's doing.
Are you? Is Torque actively looking around him, or is his attention like definitely directed towards the tower?
I think that he's got, his sort of upbringing, for lack of a better word, has kind of taught him to always be sort of wary of his surroundings.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check, and we'll contest this with Dinar giving a stealth check, since he was
Okay.
trying to.
I did cast a spell,
Oops.
yeah, and I will say this as well: Unseen Servant. I can only command it to go 15 feet away from me, so I'll have to go to the ship with it.
That is true.
That
Yeah.
should not have been at advantage. I'm not sure which one of those you want to use.
Just go ahead and reroll. Give me a reroll on it.
You got it.
And what am I rolling here, Craig?
Stealth.
Stealth.
Sneaky.
Oh, you in this round, Michael.
I do. Not by much, though. I rolled a 7 plus 1, so
Ooh.
8.
So not the sneakiest casting, but Torque's attention, while he tries to be observant, is drawn by this large spire glistening in the distance.
Which tracks.
So
After
it's great when the role play lines up with the role play. There you go.
After the task is complete, Dinar will head from the ship towards the tavern where Flick and Tayland are at.
Okay. Torque, as you are gazing on this spire in the distance, there's a mysterious feeling that comes over you. It's not necessarily a sense of familiarity. You know, you haven't really seen this spire before. You haven't really spent time here. But there's something about the magical nature of it. The idea of it being grown, something of such a great magical presence. There's something about that seems to be speaking to you, almost as if you can, even from this distance, you can kind of sense that arcana, that magic just permeating the very air around this place. And it gives you a sense, it's comforting in some sense, and you feel kind of a warmth and just some sort of kinship, some connection that you're not quite able to put your finger on, but it's definitely interesting, has drawn your attention.
I think Torque just sort of closes his eyes, sits down in the sand, and just kind of like basks in this feeling for a second. I think there's like a moment where he looks down and there's like a little hermit crab and it just like crawls across his foot and then scurries into the sand. He just sort of watches it for a second. And then when he thinks the adequate amount of time has passed, he'll stand up and slowly head towards the tavern as well.
Okay. Did he name this crab?
He did not.
I had a hermit crab named Pablo. Just throwing that out there. All right. Transition to the tavern. All right. As you enter into the tavern, so this would be Tayland and Flick coming in first. It is the establishment itself. It looks like it's just a warehouse that was converted into a tavern out of necessity. That those who were here, like this had been built for work purposes, right? Very utilitarian, just warehouses. And then sort of as an afterthought, dockhands and those who are kind of more or less spend most of their time here realized that they needed a place to unwind, and so they converted one of the warehouses into the berth, as they call it. And there's no stage, there's no musicians, but there's music in the air. There's a sense of magic. Talon, you would recognize this right away. You can see that there are ever-burning torches on the walls. And they kind of have almost like a bluish green tinge to the light. Definitely magical in nature. There just seems to be this soft music just kind of filtering through the air, kind of seemingly coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. And there's a really nice smell. You don't see any fine food anywhere around. It doesn't even seem this place as a kitchen, but there's just a nice, kind of like a spiced rum smell. It's just very pleasant. Just kind of enough of a smell to kind of remove the body odor, the stench, the kind of the smell of the sea, the saltiness, the brine. It's just warm, welcoming. There are tables kind of haphazardly set around this very square building. You can see where there's stairs at the back that head up to a second floor, and the bar it's basically, it looks like they took kegs and placed some kegs as posts and then just laid out ship planks on top of it to make the bar. And there's makeshift stools that are just kind of all around it. And there's a rather old, grizzled looking bear, one of the bear folk that you're sitting behind the bar, who is serving up drinks. Their fur is mostly black, but it's got like patches of kind of grayish white here and there, some brown spots where it almost looks like there's maybe been like an injury or scarring, and the fur is kind of faded a little bit around that spot.
I like this place.
Yeah, kind of homey. Yeah, let's see what the local brew is, eh?
Well, if it's as good as the music they've decided to haunt this place with, it's got to be something special.
Yeah, I know. It's saving you the effort. This is delightful. Yeah, head up to the bar. Hey, how you doing? We just came in on the Intrepid Devil via the Sea of Souls.
The devil. How's Captain Boone? The bear just speaks with a very deep, kind of growling voice.
You know the captain, do you?
He's the same as always.
That's good to hear. Name's Kuna. I run this place.
Kuna.
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 Kind of rolls off the tongue a bit, doesn't it?
Do I need to say it one more time?
All right, Mr. Kuna.
Mrs. Kuna.
Mrs. Kuna.
Well, Miss, actually, not married.
Ma'am.
Just Kuna is fine.
Listen, lady, what do you got to drink?
See, kind of like a grin and like this low growl. It's like a happy growl, like direct. I like that. Well, we got ale, we got rum, we got grog, we got mead.
Ooh, I ain't had mead in a long time. Hook me up
Same
with
here.
one of those. You in, Talon?
Oh yeah, mead sounds lovely.
Oh hey, fresh water. Do you have clean fresh water here?
Aye, we do. We got an ever-flowing pot in the back, courtesy of them.
Perfect. Could you get like
the Ivory Spire.
a big ass bowl of that set up and ready? We got a buddy coming who's gonna order one anyway, so I figured.
A bowl of water.
Aye.
All right, 2 meads and a bowl of water. Come right up. That'll be 2 silver each for the mead.
All right.
Mind getting this flick? I'm flat broke till we get paid.
I got you covered, and I'll even kick in a little extra for the trouble for the water.
Water's free. It's water.
Yeah, but the service is so lovely, and I sort of pat her on the arm.
If you're trying to flirt, you're not my type.
No, ma'am, I'm just trying to get the damn mead.
Oh, trust me, this goblin wouldn't know flirting if some rather sultry women walked in right now.
At this moment, Torque walks in.
As Torque walks in, Kuna kind of looks up and sees a very large turtle and goes, kind of flexes a little bit, just not in a flirty way, just more of like in a respect way. She's quite a large individual herself, towering, 7 feet plus. So seeing another large individual kind of brings a smile to her face.
Torque sees her flex and goes kind of like, and like flexes back, like in that way that it's like when you see someone on the street wave at you and you don't know if they're waving at you or the person behind you, and you're just like.
Nice. All right, she goes and gets a couple of pints of mead and a wooden bowl and sets it down. And it's filled with crystal clear water.
Hey, Torque, I took the liberty of ordering for you already.
He nods.
All right, so we all settle up at the bar, and guess we'll chat up Kuna while we're waiting for Mr. Connor and the captain to get here.
I have to say, as wonderful as all these magical effects are, it kind of reduces the charm, doesn't it?
Reduces the charm. You think this place would have charm without them?
Oh, that's a fair point.
It's a warehouse.
Yeah.
We made it a bar. thanks to those wizards at the Spire, they gave us some enchantments on the place to keep the music going and the lights on, because we don't get too many musicians and bards that make their way through. And the few that do come through here, I'd rather not hear what they have to offer.
I can understand that.
My hand goes onto Talen's hand. I couldn't hold him back.
Tell me, this magical music that enchants this place, what's the repertoire like? Song lists?
Is it like a jukebox kind of thing?
I have no idea. It just seems to play music.
Hey, did them fancy wizards from the Ivory Spire ever come in here, or they just hooked you up with the music? And
Some of them come down from time to time if they're looking for passage. Mostly, they don't frequent our establishment out of desire.
they don't like slumming with the regular folk? Huh.
I don't see why they would when they have everything they want up in that spire of theirs.
I know that
Indeed.
type.
I mean, I'd be up there if I could too, no offense to this place, but you can choose between a building made of ivory and all the food and drink you could ever want, or a warehouse. Well,
I see your point. So, like, the thing is, like, actually made of ivory, like out of elephant noses or whatever?
I have no idea.
Because that's pretty cool.
I mean,
Hey,
you could ask them. I don't know if you'd get an answer or not, but if you ever make your way up there, feel free to ask on my behalf too. Not that I actually really don't care. Know the details of it. They called out the Ivory Spire because it looks like ivory, I guess, and it's a spire.
It's very creative names.
So,
Yes.
do you get many sailors through here, I guess? Like, or is it mostly just locals?
Well, this is a port,
Yeah, so
yes.
we just hit with strangest thing happened while we were on our way here. Wondering if you hit them up for their own spooky stories, because we got a spooky story to tell, and I was wondering if you'd heard it before, that's all.
Well, we're on the edge of the Sea of Souls, so spooky stories are kind of the only stories that we really know.
All right, so check this.
Hmm.
We are about, a day out of port, and we just cleared the black water, and we thought stuff was, or no, we were still in the black water at that point, weren't we?
You sailed through the Sea of Souls, not around it.
We did. That's how we got here so fast.
You're insane.
Oh, quite, yes.
Yeah, but
Okay, just as long as we've established that. Go on.
So anyway, we're close to the edge of the Sea of Souls, where people probably stray from time to time anyway. And I look astern the ship, and I see a cloud that's following us. And there's something in the cloud, but I can't see what's in the cloud. It could be a ship, it could be an animal. I don't know what the hell.
Wait. You saw the Asuna.
Sure. What?
You saw a ship coming out of nowhere, just clouds, mysteriously all of a sudden there, and the ship that was there, and then it vanished with the clouds, didn't it?
You nailed it in one.
You saw the Asuna.
What the hell's that?
I don't know. We only know it's the Asuna. There's lots of tales about this mysterious ship that appears and disappears. Lots of folk say they've seen it. Some say that it's a mirage, the sea, long days at sea, kind of playing tricks on the mind. I've never seen it myself, but I've heard enough sailors talk about it to know that when somebody says what they've seen, that they've seen the Asuna.
Has anyone ever interacted with it, or did they just see it?
Well, I've heard of a couple of people that said that they knew somebody who disappeared on a ship that was rumored to have encountered the Asuna.
It's one of those, if you
Yeah.
ever interact with it, you never heard from again. Beautiful. Well, I'm glad we saw it from a distance and kept it behind us.
Though come to think of it, I'm not really sure how that person's heard the story. If the person that found it disappeared, yeah, it's one of those things.
There's one thing sailors like doing, it's telling stories. And sometimes every good story needs a little bit of embellishment.
But you did see it.
Yep.
Well, you did.
Plain is
Trust me,
a
if
foggy
the goblin
cloud.
says he saw something, he saw something. Not much get past this one.
Good to know.
Except flirting, apparently. But that's neither here nor there.
We can work on that.
I'm still not interested.
That still wasn't flirting, so we're good.
Okay, good. That's awkward. Anyway, this Asuna, if you really want to know more about it, you could talk to some of the dock hands. Apparently, a couple of them have claimed to have seen it, even from these very shores. So, if you want to know more, go down there. Oh, there's one fellow by the name of Keegan. Really scrawny-looking guy. He's stronger than you would think, though. I mean, doesn't look like he can lift much, but he puts in good work. You find Keegan, and he might be able to tell you more about the Asuna. Says he's seen it a couple of times.
Couple of times.
He's always working the docks. He's been here for a couple of years now. So, he says he's seen it. I don't know if he has or not, but you can compare tales, swap stories, and see if it lines up. And, well, if it does, then maybe it might be worth listening to what he has to say about it.
Wouldn't bet too hard on it, but it's possible.
At least we've got a name now. That'll help.
What,
Oh,
Keegan or the Asuna?
Both.
Yes.
Oh, and Tayland, keep this on the DL. Captain was not happy to hear this, as you might recall.
Yes, no need to worry him about something that he need not be worried about.
Exactly.
You're saying that something spooked Captain Boone?
When we saw this ship, he was right clenched. Let me put it that way.
Ah,
Way with words, Flick.
I just clenched when you said that. Odd. Well, if that's got him clenched, as you say, scared or whatever, maybe there's some merit to this story after all. Captain Boone isn't one to get all pale in the face over tall tales and myths and stuff, but things that are real, things that can be a true threat. And that might be another story.
Yeah, he
I
does
might
not
have to-
strike me as the rattling kind, so I took
Definitely
note.
not.
That's why I'm following up on it.
Well, now you've got me curious. Do me a favor, if you find out any more, would you mind filling me in on it? Throw a couple drinks in on the house for it.
Absolutely.
Those are the magic words.
Mhm. We're on the case, lady.
Just call me Kuna. Thanks.
If I call anyone by the same name twice, that's let alone their own name. That's
You just die. Flick explodes.
no.
Character. Oh, he broke character.
That's a great layer to all your note taking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. As you're enjoying your drinks, I'm assuming you're spending the next couple hours just swapping tales, enjoying conversation and whatnot.
Yeah, after about an hour, Dinar will be entering the bar, I suppose, for the first time.
Hey, Dinar, come sit.
I know I've been gone a little while, but is he seriously already tipsy?
He's a lightweight, this one.
I have to be. It's asleep.
You humans. Such lightweights.
Aye.
Why you're such big talk? You come here and you just
Denaro, come and sit down.
We got a seat for you, buddy. Come on, Big D. The meat's actually pretty good.
You see, the problem with it is it's really sweet. So you have like 6, and then you go to stand up, and you're like, whoa.
I'm sure that's a problem for you, yeah.
Yeah, I've had like 1.
And it was the size of you? No.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. At 3'6", you know, it's
A goblin is a pint.
Yeah.
Or because we all just slurping his water from his bowl, just.
Denaro will go up and get just a nice glass of wine. Something refined and simple.
They don't have any wine. The most refined would be a nice spiced rum. The most flavor next to the mead, and then after that it's just like ale and grog,
Alright.
which is a combination of things. So
Denaro will get a rum, but it's gonna be a sipping rum. He's not gonna be drinking that too quick.
gotcha. All right, that'll be 3 silver.
3 silver.
Indeed.
Denar will hand over a gold
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
And...
You just keep adding it to the green ones tab. Yes, right.
No, that's all right. I can pay for myself. Here, have
Oh,
a
it's
gold.
Flick. Oh, cool. Thank you.
All right.
This is the music. You're great.
It's pretty good. It's lacking a certain shanty flavor
Oh, I can fix
that I've grown
that.
accustomed to over these last few days
Yeah,
on the water.
yeah, no, I can fix that.
Maybe after you've sobered up a little bit.
Ikuna's
the
ears
morning.
just like tweak a little bit. Go, oh, what was that?
How about I tell you a tale, Tayland?
Oh, that would be fantastic. Yes, you have to tell us everything about all of the sea stuff.
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you about the time.
I like tales. Would you mind if I listen in too? You guys are more interesting than most of the folk that come through here.
Oh, there's an audience now.
Oh, it's kind of my job to know rumors and tales and stuff too. I mean, what else am I supposed to tell people when they come in asking about things?
Yes, you knew about the Asuna.
Yeah, have you heard about wait? Is
The
he-
what?
He's with you guys. You mean?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, this is Donar. He's a war hero.
No, war
Kuna.
hero. No, that's not right. War hero's not right.
Okay.
He's a great sailor in the Navy.
I was in the Gungrim Navy. Yes.
You've kept some good company then. I've met a few of the Gungrim dwarves. Good folk.
They are. They are very good folk. Yes. Very kind.
So you got tales to tell, do you?
Well, I
Give me
was.
another-
Indeed, yes.
Let me fill your cups, and then, if you don't mind, I'd like to listen in. And I always like to hear some news stories. I hear the same ones around here all the time.
Well,
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
She just goes and like gets brings some more drinks without you guys asking. Just puts them down on the bar and just kind of like leans awkwardly on the bar. Not like too close, but there's kind of the like almost invading personal space. And I mean, as Undercidian, like one of the bear folk, she's quite a large presence, and she's just like, okay.
So there was this one time where we were out on the seas, and then there was this like little ship that seemed to be just kind of destitute, like an abandoned ship. And small search party went out there, myself included. We checked out this little ship, we boarded, and there was just something really, really off about this ship. So we checked the whole thing, top to bottom, lifted up all the seats, everything. Nobody was there. And that's when one of my buddies decided he's gonna check underneath. And so hops up on the side of the boat, takes a little dive in, and we don't see him for a couple of minutes. This guy's not known for holding his breath either. He goes under. We're kind of getting worried. Obviously, I detected magic to see what was going on. Nothing magical was going on there. It was, it was
this
really
is
simple.
definitely a true story.
Well, after like 10 minutes, this guy comes back to the surface.
Whoa.
On the other side of the boat, and he says, guys, there's nothing down there. Like, there's just an empty boat. And so we all go rush into that side of the boat, and we look at him, and we say, dude, you were gone for like 10 minutes. You can't hold your... What happened? And he said, what are you talking about?
His name was Dude?
His name was Dude, yes. Duder specifically.
Dudikoff.
Dudikoff, yes. Dude or Dudikoff, that's right. So we say, you were under the water for 10 minutes.
Made up.
How are you still alive?
All names are
And he says, what are you talking about? I was under there for maybe 20 seconds. We all looked at each other like, what just happened? And then we got back on our boat, and we went back to the ship. That's haunted me for years.
That reminds me of a song.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah? What song is that?
The sky was gray and cloudy, and the wind was from the west. We spied a battered frigate with her tattered sail full dressed.
What's a frigate?
It's a boat.
It's like a big boat?
Yes, it's like a boat that is meant for hauling things.
Okay.
Weren't we supposed to have a meeting? Oh, jeez.
Oh, you guys were expecting somebody.
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, Captain Boone should be here any time now, I figure. We'll have
That was a good story. Oh, Dinar, I might have to tell that one. What do you call it?
I call it the tale of the drunken soldier who doesn't know that I'm just telling crap because he's drunk. You might not want to share that story again. It was mostly at his expense.
That's this like deep, like rolling barrel laugh.
Oh, I'll tell that one and I'll embellish it and make it sound even better.
I like the sound of that. That's good. That's good. Make sure you include Dudikoff. That guy's name. That's important.
Dudikoff.
Dudikoff, yes.
I like that. You're a funny one, Dinar. I like that. Have another rum on me.
Okay.
She like punches you and it's like hard.
Dinar's a dragon, but he's not a tough dragon. He'll wait till she walks away and then kind of rub his shoulder like,
Like, how, man? How?
Hey, Zanar, I think she likes you. This is good. Good job, buddy. You're much better than Flick.
well,
And Torque might as well be a statue.
Or seems to take this as a compliment.
He's mastered the art of moving so
You
slowly that he's
just-
invisible.
Just strap him to the front of a boat and you make a very good figurehead.
It would be an honor.
Say, Torque's like the very literal type, right? Just Drax in turtle form. I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Just sitting here stone cold sober while everyone else is making fools of themselves.
yeah, Leland, you're not a mean drunk. You're more of a petty drunk. It's a little off-putting sometimes, I gotta say.
I don't mean nothing by it. It's... You
Yeah.
gotta enjoy yourself, you know. You gotta. There's demons inside all of us, and what's the best way to kill things is with poison. So cheers.
I'll drink to that.
I found magic to be much more effective than poison. Poison takes too
Oh
long.
really? I hadn't noticed.
See, petty.
Yeah. Interesting.
Have some more drinks, Dinar.
At this point, you hear the door kind of creak open, and you see the two individuals, Captain Boone and Mr. Thomas Connor, entering in. They kind of look around. There's a couple. Hey, Captain Boone! A couple of the old salty sailors recognizing the well-known captain, which seems to happen in pretty much every port
that you arrive, and it's there's always somebody who knows Captain Boone. He's got the reputation, and Kuna behind the bar, raises a kind of a mug and salute. Captain gives a nod. Let's grab a table in the back here. Y'all don't mind? Thomas has got a couple of interesting things to talk about. I'll let him take the lead on this one. But let's head back into the corner there.
Sounds like a good idea. Torque, help me up.
You guys back there, clear out. Yeah, we got some business to take care of, and a couple of sailors who have kind of like just sitting around a table. One's kind of like half falling asleep on it. They don't even question. They're just kind of like, "Hi, Captain," and even those who aren't on the ship seem to have that respect for Boone. They just kind of give a nod and a salute and move off to somewhere else in the bar. And so the table's kind of brought together. Two of them just kind of bring some chairs up and make enough room for the six of you to kind of sit around. Well, the good news is everything's in tip-top shape. So hand brings out a couple of pouches with 100 gold pieces for each of you. It's a rather large sum. So here's your share of. Man, we got paid for quite well for that job. Worth coming across the sea, boys.
I gotta be honest, it wasn't really that bad. We could probably do it again if it pays us well.
So you're interested in some more danger, are you? Thomas looks at you. Well, that's good because we have a bit of a situation actually that.
Yes, the flag.
Yes, about that. So, as I'm sure you're aware, the Intrepid Devil is not the only vessel that we call upon to make deliveries to our fair port here. We have ships coming from all over the seas. And, we actually had, we've even had some business as far east as Sigruna, way past the Sea of Ruin. Actually, not too far from your folks' homeland there, Dinar. But anyway, we had one such ship that was coming from the Grand Library of Sigruna itself. It's sort of an establishment akin to our Ivory Spire here, a place of great learning and magic and the like. And this ship was carrying aboard a very special delivery, sealed by the Sage King himself with the seal of the Grand Library. Now, this ship was supposed to arrive, about 5 or 6 days ago. Didn't show up. Now, it's not unusual for ships to run, a couple of days behind. Maybe they catch, an unfavorable wind, get a storm on the seas, all manner of things that can happen out on the ocean. I'm sure you aren't a stranger to that yourself. But after 3 days, 4 days, nothing. So some of the folks up at the Spire, they start, sending out some spell communication type things. I'm not sure how that all works, but receiving no reply from the captain of the ship. Nothing coming to it. Yesterday, our diviners decided to put out a little bit of a scry on the ship and see if they could locate its whereabouts. Now, the good news is that they happen to find it. The bad news is it appears to be submerged, surrounded by water, and not above, as it were, but seems to be completely surrounded by water. Now, this scried on this one chest in particular that is of great importance to Duan Mancon, the overseer of the acquisitions department, as it were. And Mancon has decreed that this particular chest be retrieved by any means and at any cost. We need this to be found. Now, as far as we understand, the likely place of it would be in the islands of the archipelago that's just south of the Isle of Morn. It's something where, a lot of ships have to pass through there, but it can be a tricky spot to navigate for even the most seasoned crew. Lots of ships have gone down in and about the small islands and the shallows around there. We need that chest and its contents retrieved. Post haste, as it were. Now, I know that salvaging isn't which the Intrepid Devil normally gets up to, but I've already spoke to the captain about this, and albeit an unusual venture for you folk who are more in the garden of goods and the like, as opposed to the acquiring or the retrieval of it. Well, you're here, and you have some skills that could be of use in this here situation. So that's the caution is that we have a missing ship, and it's possible that it was not sunk accidentally, like, if you catch my meaning.
It's quite rare that ships do sink accidentally.
Well, unless your crew ain't know what they're doing, which can happen, but this here crew is known to be quite well traveled. Not the kind of crew who would make silly mistakes and just tip over or some nonsense like that.
If you're scrying the thing, couldn't you see if it's got holes in it?
Well, they scried on the chest. You see, they didn't really know exactly what the ship itself looked like. It was more the shipment that matters, and so scrying on the chest.
Scry the chest, but not the ship?
Well, because they know what the chest looks like.
I mean, a ship's a ship.
Yeah, but then they could end up scrying on the wrong ship.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know how this magic
so.
stuff works, okay? That's not my job. My job is to handle the shipments. And in this particular case, this is a shipment that has not arrived, and so they've put it in my hands to find somebody to retrieve it.
So there's this acquisitions guy. He doesn't have people for this.
Well, there's people who get involved in this sort of thing, but being this a time-sensitive matter as it is, and you are here.
It also sounds like perhaps it went down under suspicious circumstances.
Aye, there's that too. So you folk, from what Captain here says, have proved yourselves to be mighty capable in handling threats of an unnatural sort, or even a piratey sort, perhaps. We're not entirely sure, to be honest, but we need folk such as yourselves who have a variety of skills to handle different sorts of things that might come up, if you understand what I'm saying.
Do you have any further assistance for us to find the ship, or are we just going to be searching?
Well, we have some scouts who are looking down in that area at the moment, actually, seeing if they can spot any signs of where it might have gone down. And they'll relay that information to you, and then you'll head there and do the salvaging, whatever that looks like. I'm not a salvager, so I can't say that I know exactly how that works. You have to dive for it, I suppose, or
we do have a turtle. You breathe underwater, right? Yeah, we're good.
Can you breathe underwater there, big fella?
I haven't had to recently.
And Dinar knows this guy who can hold his breath for 10 minutes.
I do, yes.
Is he
Unfortunately, he's not with us. No.
Oh.
No.
Right, that's too bad then.
Taken
by the waves then, was he?
Yeah, let's say that. Taken by the meted waves, yes.
My grief for your loss then, my friend. Sorry to hear that. Well, being able to breathe underwater will come in mighty handy. Now, it is in the shallows. Now, the waters, they call them the shallows. It doesn't mean that, they're like a couple of feet deep, but we're talking maybe tens of feet as opposed to hundreds of feet deep. So deep diving and the like is possible if you're skilled at that sort of thing. Much more possible than having to go down hundreds of feet into the bottom of the ocean, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just perplexed. If you sink a ship to get the stuff in it, then why didn't they get the stuff that was in it? This is the part that's confusing me.
Well, there's the rub, you see. This ship had many different types of goods on it that were making their way for the Spire. This one was more of a secretive shipment, as it were, not out in the open. I'm sure that you might be familiar with something called a smuggler's hold. hidden compartment. It's no. It's not illicit goods. Just something that needs to be protected and hidden, and so it wasn't out in the open with all the other cargo. And so it's likely that if somebody did sink the ship, perhaps looking to salvage something or pirate it away, that they didn't find it because the chest is still there.
Huh. Yeah, I guess you grab the low-hanging fruit while the ship is in the process of sinking and bugger off.
It tends to be the way of raiders. I don't want to draw too much attention to themselves. If they stick around for too long, then it's more chance that another ship will come by and catch them in the act, so to speak.
Every man on board will have killed his mate for a bag of guineas or a piece of bait.
Aye, it's true. I mean, not your crew, of course.
Oh, no. It'd have to be at least 1,000 gold.
Interesting that you have a price. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Like, Captain Boone kind of leans and be like,
Talon just makes a large wink.
He talks a lot when he's drunk. Just don't pay too much mind to it. You get used to Talon. He's good. He's a good chap. Just bitter.
We'll get to Dinar's sense of humor. We'll just give it time.
Well, I've already spoken to Thomas and said that this sort of job being as what it is, normally I would just say, okay, ship up and at 'em, here we go. But this will be more for the four of you. We'll take you down there, the ship will travel, but then it's up to you folks to do the acquiring, as it were. So I wanted to pass it by you and get your thoughts on this before we undertake this endeavor.
I mean, if we can find the thing, I have no problem kicking some pirate butt while we go get your little box or whatever. Seems like a milk run to me.
Well, there is the matter of Sahagin potentially in the area as well.
Sahagin?
Sahagin.
Little water beasties.
Oh, right.
Like
give me
men, but sharks.
Give me a nature check.
Who?
If you'd like. You can, or Flick, anybody who wants to.
I'll throw nature. Why not?
Why the heck not?
Wow.
Dinar did get a 16 total,
Okay.
but definitely
Tor-
not a 20.
Torky jumping in on this?
Yes. What is the skill that we're rolling here?
Nature.
Nature. Yeah, I am proficient in that. Let's see what I get. Oh, I'm actually not proficient in that. Forget I said anything. I got a 9.
Flick, Tayland, and Dinar. You have heard of Sahagin. It's a name that is spat as often as it is said by sailors who have encountered them. They are known to be vicious. They're essentially sort of like shark-like, savage fish-like humanoids who prey on ships out in the open seas. They have been known to even cooperate with pirates sometimes if it's of benefit for more of the brutal types of pirates and the Sahagin, if they can come to kind of a mutual benefit. But they are known to be quite savage, and they're not the type of creature that you would parlay with at all. Flick, you've definitely heard many stories of Sahagin. A lot of the slaving merchant vessels coming in out of Careful would have encountered Sahagin, and so lots of tales would have come in and out of ships being
like,
assaulted by them.
In Goblin, it's let me translate. It'd be sea devils. That's what we call them. Yeah, they're awful.
Yeah. So it's been reported that there are some Sahagin in the area. It might have been raiders that took the ship down. It might have been Sahagin that took the ship down. Either way, there's some dangers that are there. So Milk Run, I'm not too sure about.
All right, milk run with a bit of stabbing on the side. Gotcha.
Sounds like fun.
Yes.
Standard day on the Intrepid Devil, eh?
Now this will fetch a good price for you as well, being it is a time sensitive job, and also the acquisition of said chest is of great importance to the Ivory Spire. This will pay quite handsomely as well.
I like the sound of this.
Gold tends to talk for lots of folk.
Indeed.
Hey, what is the name of this ship that we're looking for, so we know we found the right one, eh?
It was the Salty Maiden, I think was the name of it, I believe. Salty Maiden.
Salty Maiden.
She's a galleon. She was quite a large ship.
Before we embark, will
Aye.
there be time to make necessary preparations?
Indeed. If you need to take the evening or the rest of the day, as it were, and the sooner the better, of course, would be preferable. Duan Mancone wants this retrieved as quickly as can be, but I mean, if you need to make some preparations or acquisitions, I mean, you know, the general shop, second warehouse down by the dock, they can give you some general supplies and the like if you need to supply up, as it were. That shouldn't be a problem.
I may require directions to a local blacksmith.
We don't really have so much of a blacksmith. I mean, there's a bosun who takes care of some of the repairs and stuff for ships that come in. That's probably the closest thing we have. He forges a little bit of, nails and the like here and there, but what exactly is it you're looking for?
If these Sahagin are as dangerous as they say,
Aye.
I will be in need of a weapon that is suitable for underwater combat. My current one is perhaps too cumbersome for the task ahead.
You got claws, don't you?
I've been meaning to ask, is that what their rusty anchor is on your back there?
No, it's a fashion statement.
Could be, you never know.
Anchors are the new thing.
I highly doubt that, but you will.
Torque just gives a low growl in Talen's direction.
Well, I mean, there's some weapons. Might be a handful of weapons available down at the supply shop there. Quartermaster usually keeps a handful of things in stock. Swords and probably some javelins and spears and like that sort of thing. If that's what you're looking for.
Studded leather waistcoats?
Probably not.
How about an alchemist?
You'd have to go up to the Spire for that. That's a little ways away. Probably don't have time to go do that and then come back. They might be curious as to why you're going so far out of your way to secure supplies when it's a time-sensitive mission as well.
Yes. We wouldn't want to annoy the rich and powerful now, would we?
So, anyway, yes, if you need to supply, go ahead and talk to the quartermaster down at the general supply store there. Second warehouse again from the dock. And she'll set you up with, anything that is available that you might need. I mean, we're not a big place, so we don't have much, but I mean, common enough stuff to come by, you should be able to find.
All right.
At that, Torque just immediately pushes out his chair and stands up and immediately begins to leave.
Okay, good luck.
He's a creature of few words and lots of action.
He's a very direct fellow.
Yes.
I like that, actually.
Yeah.
It's,
I don't
it's
like
refreshing
these-
to not have to, talk in circles around and just get to the point. It's not something I'm good at, mind you, but it's good to meet somebody who is. It's quite nice.
I don't like these ivory wizards. Sit up there in all their power, make us do all their dirty work.
I don't know. They seem kind of cool to me.
Oh, they've
I'd like to meet them.
they've done some pretty important work for the
Oh,
isles.
I'd also like to meet them.
Hey now. Won't be taking to you speaking ill of the Ivory Spire in these here ports. They do mighty fine work up there. You might not agree with their lifestyle or what have you, but theirs is a necessity. If it weren't for them, I tell you, things would be a lot worse off in these here parts.
They always say.
Make no mistake about that. Anyways, I remind you that's not my place to talk about their business, as it were. Only about the business that we have at hand here. So I'm assuming by your friend's exit there to go acquire some goods that you're keen on taking this on then.
Well, I suppose. Frankly, I'd hate to admit it, but my curiosity's gotten the better of me. I'd like to know what they're so desperate to have.
Aye. Well,
They're so desperate to have a little bit less money in their pockets, and that's what I need to hear.
It's
Well-
my experience that the folk who have all the money are willing to throw as much of it as they need to get out of the problems they make.
it's a very bitter
I-
assessment.
Realistic, but sure.
I'm more than happy to liberate them of as much as they'd like.
Well then. I take that as a very long-winded and complicated yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Sign us up, Captain Boone. As soon as the ship can be ready, let's hightail it, eh?
Give us an evening to resupply some of the food and the like. We got a good amount of payment here to restock rather nicely. Make sure we got lots of ammunition for the cannons and like, and we can set sail in the morning. It's not a far journey. What do you say, Thomas? Maybe about a day? Aye, about a day or so. Bit of a roundabout way to get there. You gotta mind the shallows, so it'll take about a day. Aye, a day then. So take the evening, do what you need to do, and meet me on the Devil in the morning. We'll head out.
Ayo.
Yep. What I need to do is an evening's worth of shore leave, and then I'm good to go.
I'm gonna check out that quartermaster's. See if I
Indeed.
can't pick us up some potions.
Ashore. This night we spend ashore.
Now, I need to make my way actually back up to the spire momentarily. So I'll be away from port in the morning. So if there's any questions you have, I'll fill you in as best as I can. Mind you, I don't know all the details. Just I'm the middleman, as it were. But if there's anything pressing that you think you might need to know, now's the time to ask it before I head off.
I'm
We'll
good.
probably we'll have more questions once we get there, which is a little too late now, isn't it?
I'm sure you will. I've got questions of my own, but I've learned to not inquire too deeply about certain things. It's a dangerous habit to stick your nose into everything.
Yeah, I learned that one at a young age. Don't you worry.
It's a good lesson. All right, then. Well, wish you best of luck. I should be around when you return. If I'm not, just talk to Kuna there, and she'll settle you up and she'll make sure that I find you when I get back. But to wish you best of luck, and remember, just keep your eyes open and be on guard. You look out for pirates, look out for Sahagin. And keep an eye out for those rock beaks. They tend to be a little bit territorial, and they've got quite a number of nests down in the archipelago there. So just be on guard. All right. We'll see you when you get back then. He gets up and shakes Captain's hand and makes his way out of the berth.
Dinar will stand up from the table and make his way for the exit.
Okay.
I will hook Talen's arm and drag him back to the bar. Finish the
We
night
send
out.
the anchors rolling down because this night we spend ashore. We leave the ship and go to town. This night we spend ashore. We drink and dance and we drink what more because this night we spend ashore. We'll laugh and brawl till we hit the floor. This night we spend ashore.
I don't
I
have a
believe
bug,
you
so-
owe me around, sorry.
I'll wave my axe. All right. So we have Dinar and Torque. You were both heading to the supply outpost to find the quartermaster. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So Torque, as you'd left first and without much announcement, you make your way to the second warehouse from the dock. And it's a good thing that you're given directions because the warehouses, they literally all just look the same. They're these big squat kind of square-like buildings. And you can see kind of written in what looks like coal drawing kind of like above the door. You can just see very like poorly scrawled supply in common. And as you open the door, there's a little bell on the inside, ding ding ding, that rings. And stepping inside, it's not a shop, like it literally is. It is a warehouse. It's got some shelves that have goods kind of lined up, and then in one corner there's sort of this makeshift little desk that's been set up. And you see a very tall elven woman with thick, like dark black hair, eyes very black as well. She's very pale looking, but not a sickly pale. It's just more of like almost kind of like a bluish white, like an alabaster pale. And she's dressed in this immaculate leather armor that's actually got some details and stuff, and you can see what appear to be different kind of runes and etchings that are, marking different spots of the armor. And she's currently kind of sitting at the desk. She's got one leg up, and she's holding a long rapier, just with a cloth with oil on it. And she's kind of just oiling the length of it. And as the bell rings, she looks up. Yes, hello. Can I help you with something?
I require a weapon.
We've got plenty of those. The name's Serena. What kind of weapon might I interest you in? She puts the rapier down and stands up, kind of brushes herself off, and very, very slender. But you can see that there's a very fit. You can see like the muscles, beneath her armor, and kind of the light shirt that she's wearing underneath the leather armor, very toned. So what is it you're looking for?
Something suitable for battle underwater.
Have you ever used a trident before? Happen to have one?
Show me.
Certainly. Come this way with me. And she walks you to one aisle, kind of second off from the right, and you can just see there's a number of, there's like a pile of like short swords and long swords. Some of them look rusted, some of them look like they're newer. You see ones that kind of like more of like a dwarven wide blade design to them. Some of them more slender elven design. And she takes you to the very back of this row where there's literally just a barrel. And sitting in the barrel, you can see like there's a halberd, there's a couple of spears, javelins, and then there's this one spear-like instrument that has 3 prongs at the top of it. And it's actually very, very elaborate looking. You can see some rust on it, so it's probably weathered and has seen quite a bit of action. But the design is it's got this nice like fluted design where it's in a nice curve where the tines kind of curve out a little bit and then fork out, and the middle one kind of almost like has this like spiraling twisted design to it. She picks it up gently and hands it to you. Now you see, this here was once wielded by an ancient sea elf warrior. At least that's what I'm told. But give it a feel and see.
Or he's going to take the trident in his hands and just sort of like get a feel for the weight. Is Dinar present, or
I would say Dinar probably hasn't made it just yet. He was a few minutes after. So you probably have about like 10 minutes or so before he actually arrives.
as Torque is holding this in his hand, he'll just sort of turn over one hand and just kind of like slowly move it up the shaft of the trident. And as he does so, there's like a little crackle of electricity between his hand, like almost like sort of like a static electricity that just like surges up the shaft as he moves his hand across it.
Nice.
And then he opens his eyes and holds it again and says, "This will be sufficient." He turns to the quartermaster. "How much?"
That was a mighty fine trick you did there. I haven't seen I know that's not in a weapon. It's not an enchanted weapon, so that's something that you did yourself. Very interesting.
How much?
All right. 4 gold pieces. It's a little used, not quite new, but still in good condition, so slight discount.
He fishes into the little sack of coin that's hanging by his hip now, and just empties 4 coins into her hand.
Thank you very much. Now, we can use that one-handed, or we can use it with 2. It's quite a versatile weapon, it is. You seem to handle it quite well, so I'm sure that you'll know how to use it when the time comes.
Blessings of Disfuna be upon you.
So you're kind of
He's
like...
gonna slip that behind the rope on his back.
At the mention of Disfuna, you see there's a little bit of kind of eyes go wide and a little bit of flick of recognition. She just kind of looks at you sideways for a second and goes, "Indeed."
Can I insight that?
Sure.
Oh, that was so close to being a 17.
Hard to read. You do know that like the name of Disfuna as the goddess of the depths, it's not unknown. She is a known goddess. As to what her response signified is hard to pick up on, because it was kind of like there, and she managed to kind of like mask it and hide it almost as quickly as it was there. Well, I didn't catch your name, my turtle friend, but is there anything else that I can interest you in?
Torque.
Talk.
This will be sufficient for now.
All right, then. Enjoy the rest of your day.
He just nods and turns to leave.
She just kind of like folds her arms, just kind of stands and watches you with a kind of a half smile as you leave, just kind of curious. Dinar, you probably arrive just as you see Torque coming out of the...
Yeah, like they pass each other all the way.
Like opening
you
the door.
You
like
see Torque with his shiny new trident hanging off his back.
That's a nice looking weapon there. I'm glad you agree. Dinar will enter.
All right. You see, kind of coming from just coming up one of the aisles, right as you come in, you see Serena, this very slender, pale elf. Ah, yes, another customer. Hello. What can I do for you? You've got quite a shipment to you.
Yes, I do. Yes, I am quite interesting. I was curious. The guys back in the tavern said I'd need to go all the way up to the spire to find an alchemist, but I was hoping that maybe you might have some potions on hand.
Nothing too ornate. What did you have in mind?
I'm just looking for a couple of health potions. A couple of guys in my traveling party are, let's say, a little on the small side. They can handle themselves, but, you know.
say no more. Let me. I think I might have a couple of a common variety healing potions, as it were. Give me one moment, if you don't mind. I'm just going to go peruse my stock and see how many I can scrounge up for you. How many were you looking for?
I'd like to buy 2 if you have them.
2. I'm pretty sure I can manage that. One moment.
Okay.
She just kind of walks towards the back of the shop, and you can hear, some crates moving and the like. And after a minute or two, she comes back with 2 small vials that have red liquid in it. Familiar enough, you recognize them for what they are. Right. I've actually got 5 on hand, but if it's only 2 you want, that's fine.
Well, how much are you charging per potion?
Well, normally they're 50 gold each, but if you were to buy multiple items in bulk, I tend to give a discount for that sort of thing.
Well, I can afford a couple. If I was to buy 3, could I give you 100 gold?
That's a bit steeper of a discount than I'm accustomed to giving. That's essentially giving you one for free.
Yeah, buy 2, get 1 free.
That's not a sale we currently have on.
That's fine. How about 120?
120 for 3.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh, I'm not good at these. Yeah, not good at these. That's 5 plus 1 for 6.
She kind of smiles. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I do have a limited supply, however, so that would not be a good deal for me.
That's fair.
But I'll give you the 2 for 90 gold.
That sounds like a mighty fine plan.
Because I like you.
It's the scales, isn't it?
Well, they are most impressive. It's not too many radiant dragonborn in these parts.
So you know what I am.
I've heard stories. You're the first I've seen, but it's good to meet one. Good to meet you. Sorry, you're not. I shouldn't treat you as a curiosity. My apologies, but
it's all right.
I'm Serena, by the way.
Dinar.
Dinar.
Just passing through, really.
Most folk are coming here, unless you're heading up to the Spire. This is more of a way point, as it were.
Well, we'll leave the Spire for another day. Be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued.
Most are.
Magic
Oh,
user
not to be.
myself.
Indeed.
On that note, do you happen to have any scrolls? Spell scrolls,
Afraid
specifically.
not.
Nothing?
I'm afraid not.
All right.
That sort of thing is the purchase and sale of those items is strictly controlled by the Spire in these parts.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
Indeed.
All right. Well, 2 potions will do just fine.
Well, here's praying that you actually don't need them, but I hope they serve you well if you do.
Better safe than sorry.
Of course. Take care of yourself. Dinar.
Yes. We shall meet again.
All right.
Dinar will make his way out of the tavern and just onto the ship. Dinar will be spending the night in his quarters on the ship.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we use this moment to take a quick break then, before we jump into the next activities. So we will take a breather and we will see you back here shortly.
I got some horrible hat hair going on.
Might have to decostume a bit as well, yeah, for sure. But all right, we'll be back soon.
Greetings, wary travelers. My name is Mike, and I will be playing the role of Dinar Neurixius, Dragonborn wizard on the Sea of Souls. Allow me to get into character and we can learn a little bit more about this pale golden dragon. Being chosen is supposed to be a good thing. Chosen by the gods to serve a purpose. However, it can mean facing a life alone. I was born in our homeland, Drakor, in the east. And though these scales are supposed to be a blessing, I was reviled by so many. I could see their jealousy, could feel their stares. My own people shunned me, and so I left. I still drew stares when I arrived in Stormhaven. It's hard to miss these scales. But the dwarves were far more accepting of me. I learned I could put my magic to good use out on the seas, so I served aboard a ship, adding my arcana to their arsenal. Maybe one day I'll return home. Maybe they will welcome me as Verithan's champion. Or at least, as kin. For now, though, life among the Gungrim is good. I am used to standing out here, used to towering over this good folk. But what they lack in size, they make up for in heart.
Hi, I'm Ian, and I play the goblin Flick Dogslicer, an Eldritch Knight fighter. Once upon a time, there was a goblin named Flick. That's me. He was a good egg, but as a recently emancipated man, he didn't necessarily have the finest grasp on the rules of free society, and often ended up on the wrong side of the law. So anyway, I'm in this back alley, minding my own business, rooting through the trash, when this old guy in a blue dress and a big floppy hat with stars and crap all over it comes out of nowhere screaming, "Oh my god, it's a goblin," and starts shooting fire out of his hands at me. So I shanked him. I didn't mean to kill him per se, but, heat of the moment and all that. Now even I knew how this would play out with the guard, so I'm looking for a quick escape. But this old guy didn't even have the courtesy of carrying a coin purse, just this big stupid book. So, yoink, and I beat feet to the pier and sign aboard the first ship that's looking for crew. Long story short, with enough time and patience, even a bozo like me can figure out a little magic from that big old book. I joined a good crew and enjoy my life as a seafaring mercenary, trying to keep ahead of the law and maybe make a coin or two for myself. The end. By Flick.
Greetings, tale seekers and story watchers. I am Devin, medieval enthusiast and D&D veteran since my 11th birthday when I received the 3rd edition starter set. Led to a bit of a collection. I will be playing the part of Tayland Wavesinger, human bard and mariner, master of the weaponized sea shanty. Oh, it'd be alright if the wind was at our sails. Tayland is a man slowly being consumed by his own faults. He drinks far too much, and has quite a ruthless disposition against those he dislikes. But he still tries to do what's right when he can. As for his goals, well, I'll let him tell you. Oh, me name is Tayland Wavesinger, and I quickly tell to you of a man that I am a-hunting across the ocean blue, with power over the sea and sky. Believe me when I say that when I finally find the bastard, it'll be his last day.
In Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf, the sacred river, ran through caverns measureless to man. Down to a sunless sea.
Torque is a Tortle barbarian, presumed to be the sole survivor of the Loggerhead tribe. Even by Tortle standards, Torque is a taciturn individual, never deigning to use 5 words where 2 will suffice, and as such has been less than forthcoming in sharing his personal history with his compatriots. What is known of Torque is that he was discovered on a remote island by a passing merchant vessel, having apparently been marooned there for some years in the wake of a shipwreck which destroyed the rest of his tribe.
It is for this reason that Torque holds a special reverence for Desfuna, goddess of the ocean, whom he believes spared his life in the ocean storm that decimated his kin. Having spent the better part of a decade in near total isolation, Torque is unfamiliar with the ways of the modern world, and his social skills are somewhat lacking. It is perhaps for this reason that he has chosen to align himself with allies who are blessed in the gift of gab, as he continues on his pilgrimage, the destination of which is unknown even to himself. Hi everyone, my name is Jack, and I am not a professional voice actor or performer by any means. However, I do have a serious passion for tabletop RPGs, and I hope that you enjoy this upcoming game as much as we're going to enjoy playing it.
All right, welcome back. We enjoyed our short little break. I definitely had to get some of that my strappings off there. Get some comfortable after a little bit.
See, Tayland is still in full garb.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All that talk of meat, I had to get something to drink.
Hey, there you go. All right. So, business is all taken care of in port. Then the following morning, the ship, the Intrepid Devil, is set to make its way south towards the small scattering of islands south of the Isle of Morn, on which the Ivory Spire sits, and into the shallows, which is an area of the sea which normally is traveled. It wouldn't normally be, but since many ships do tend to try to avoid the Sea of Souls, there are, paths and courses that have been charted through the shallows for many ships. So while it does have its dangers, most captains, most sailors tend to see those dangers as less dangerous than sailing a haunted sea. And so many ships do tend to make their way through there. Not all of them do make their way through. So as you approach these islands, it takes about a day to get there. For the entirety of the day, it's if you were able to kind of sail open seas and in a direct route, it wouldn't take that long. But because you're taking sort of more of a winding route, avoiding some of the shallows and stuff, even that are sticking out from the Isle of Morn. There's a lot of rocky patches where you can see, the cliffs themselves would rise quite high, and then leading out into the water, there's patches of rock that stick up out of the water, and even you can start to see some of the dangers of the shallows, as just below the surface every now and then you catch some rocks jutting up. A lot of jagged surfaces here and there, which would spell certain disaster for a ship if navigators didn't know what they were doing. So it takes a bit of time to kind of wind through this area and make your way south towards these islands. I'm assuming, Flick, are you?
I'll be in my.
Up in the observatory is in order.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and make a perception check for me then, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm on fire tonight. combat, I'm gonna be garbage, but I'm hitting these skill checks.
I think you maybe stole all my luck.
So about middle of the afternoon, as you're starting to get into the shallows and the scattering of islands, looking ahead, you can see a very large winged creature that seems to be circling, probably about 200 to 300 yards ahead. So a ways off, but not too far off. And there's just this creature circling quite high up.
Hey, Captain, we got a airborne critter.
What's this now?
2 o'clock high.
That's mighty big. I think that might be a rock beak.
Say the word, Captain.
I wouldn't do that. Y'all ever encountered a rock beak before?
I don't know. I might have heard of him.
Give me a nature check.
I do get around. Yes, I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Yes, you've definitely heard of rock beaks. They are large predatory birds, territorial birds, and they get their name from the unique shape and strength of their beak, which is known to actually be capable of penetrating rock and breaking apart rock. Rock beak Pookie. They can be very dangerous birds. They tend to feast mostly on like crustaceans and stuff. They will eat fish as well, like kind of dive. But they are known to be quite aggressive and will attack pretty much anything they think they can eat. And you only see one of them in the moment, but you do know that there are often several of them.
Well, if it comes for us, I'll take a shot.
I think Torque is going to be readying himself as well. He's got his little quiver of javelin slung over his shoulder, and he's just slowly drawing one out.
They do seem to be right in our path, don't they?
Yeah, it looks like it's circling over something. Do you think we are already there, or?
It's possible. They're not exactly scavengers. They tend to like to eat living things as opposed to dead things.
Could be survivors from the shipwreck, then.
It's possible.
Or it could be a whole host of sea devils just waiting to swarm our ship. One way to find out, though, Captain.
You're quite the optimist, aren't you, Flick?
Absolutely, sir.
I've noticed. Perhaps we can scare them off. Hey, Dinar.
Yeah.
You sailed in the Navy. You ever fired a ballista?
No, I can't say I ever had the pleasure of firing one of those.
It's too bad.
They do seem quite impressive.
I feel like giving it a shot.
I could certainly try. Failing that, I have a pretty cool trick that we could maybe intimidate them away, but yeah, sure, let's fire a ballista.
All right, what's your trick, Wayne? Tell me what you're thinking first.
Well, I have this pretty crazy ability to enlarge the size of creatures. I was thinking that we could take our rather large turtle friend over there and make him a little bit bigger.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as efficient as my idea, but far more entertaining.
I mean, that could work.
That maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see.
And we just sail towards him with what, Torque standing at the front of the ship or something?
Yeah, just going like crazy, man. You know, shouting, hollering, all huge.
Now I can't picture Torque doing
I
that.
don't know if you've met Torque, but
Or give me a shout, will you?
Do I need to make some sort of roll for this, or
No.
I think Torg is just gonna look and say, "As you wish, Captain," and he's just gonna take a deep inhale, and like just this loud bellow as he just opens up his snapping turtle beak maw as wide
Picturing
as
like
it'll
a
go.
foghorn like sound coming out of him. Or bagpipes.
So they sort of kaiju-esque, yeah.
Nice. The captain just like
I've ever heard Torque.
his mouth just like jaw like hanging over, just like, oh, that
Is
could
that-
work.
And then we embiggen that.
Hey, we might have.
It has been some time since I've had to raise my voice. I
I have to say, that was-
apologize if
that
I'm
was,
rusty.
No,
That
that was great.
Very
Can you do
impressive.
it again, but this time in the key of E minor?
Never mind.
And thus, out on the open sea that day, death metal was born.
Beautiful. Death metal sea shanties.
Canon.
Hailstorm. That's
Cannon.
the thing.
Yeah, that's the one.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can take a ballista shot at the thing first.
Oh,
Sounds
this I
good,
gotta
Captain.
see.
And then if that doesn't work, if it comes at us, Dinar, you be ready to go ahead and embiggen Torque, as Flick put it there. But if you're gonna be ready to do that, then one of the other fine fellows feel like taking a shot with a giant crossbow.
I vote Flick.
It'd be my honor, sir.
I mean, Flick, you might have to climb up on the thing to do that, but
Exactly. I want to see that.
that might be
All right.
interesting to see.
I'm assuming giant crossbow is a dexterity weapon.
Let's hope.
Oh, of course, right? Yeah. All right.
Oh, be awkward if it wasn't.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have trouble aiming this bloody thing. All right, tell me what I need to do, and I will do it.
Wait a second here. Da, 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 da. Oh, why isn't that showing up? Sorry, I was trying to find the stat for the ballista there, and it decided not to show up for me. Okay, so you find this just ballista just mounted at the front of the ship, and the captain kind of like works you towards it and kind of shows you, all right, now here's the cranking mechanism. You got to crank this thing back, and then it'll kind of lock in place, and then you take one of these ballista arrows. You're gonna load that in, make sure that you're gonna hear like a click as it locks in, and you want to make sure you see that little firing pin there. That's gonna, once it locks in place, you're gonna see that kind of click back, and that lets you know that it's loaded properly. So why don't you go ahead and give that a shot? Let me know if you need a hand cranking that thing.
And I'm just gonna grab like a couple of random crew guys up to like, all right, lefty and short guy, yeah, over here with me.
They kind of look at the captain. The captain's like, all right. They kind of walk over.
All right, you're on ammo detail. You're on cranking detail. Me, I'm gonna aim.
Uh,
I thought you was the one that was going to crank it and aim it. Isn't that what the captain was saying?
Yeah.
You want us to do the work for you? I don't seem fair. We already know how to use this thing. You're supposed to be learning how to use it.
Yeah, I'll learn by observing. Now let's get the chop. Let's go here.
All right. They kind of look at each other and like,
I'm
we
going.
got nothing better to do.
I'm going to annoy you a little bit. Can I prepare the gust spell in case his shot goes real bad? To like try to at least knock it, preferably towards the bird, but at least try to save the shot if it happens to go wide.
Trying to put it like in the ballpark of what you're aiming at.
Basically, yeah.
Sure. Why not?
You'll be able to scare a couple of them.
Give me a persuasion check, Flick.
All right, let's see. If the rolls keep coming, or this is where the bottom falls out. Oh, the rolls keep coming. All right, 16.
All right.
That.
So
Let it
you
ride.
you do manage to kind of encourage them along in
loading up the ballista and kind of
It's a team effort. Come on.
getting it prepared. All right. So it comes to the aiming part. Once you kind of watch them following what the captain had told you about, making sure that it kind of clicks and that the locking pin is in place and everything. And they obviously, have experience doing this as deckhands, and they kind of lock it in place, and then they just, all right, it's up to you to do the aiming now.
All right. Yeah, hands and fingers out, please. No. Aim and fire, I guess.
Okay. So you look on the ballista, and it does seem to be sort of on a like a pivoting base. And there's a couple of pins in the bottom that just basically you lift the pins to turn it, and then the pins kind of lock back in, like ratchet style, to kind of lock it in place and kind of secure the aim. And you can aim it. It's pretty versatile. The most accurate you seem to be able to do is probably about every 5 degrees or so, in 5-degree increments.
Sure.
So give me a perception check.
Perception. Here we go.
As you can see, this thing kind of just still flying around, doing its circles above.
All right.
Okay.
Oh,
19.
flick.
So you watch it for a minute, and you're like, okay, kind of getting an idea of its pattern. I'd say you get an idea because you're not a novice when it comes to fighting and like that. You're thinking in your mind, okay, I need to aim where it's going to be, not where it is, where it's going to be. And so you kind of watch its pattern as it's circling, and as it starts to make its kind of circle back, as it comes into view, you kind of make up your line. Okay. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll, and add 6 to your roll. So d20 plus 6 for me.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Nicely done.
that's spicy.
All right. You fire off this shot, and it's much louder than you would have expected. Not as quite as loud as a cannon, but there is sort of this sound as this big giant ballista bolt just launches off, and you watch as the mechanism actually kind of has a little bit of kickback as this thing just launches into the air.
I'm picturing Flick just tumbling ass over tea kettle behind.
The recoil,
It's like whoa, and you kind of knock off of it, and you watch this thing just sail. Go ahead and roll 3d10 for me.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I can do 3d10.
Oh.
What? Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
good rolls.
Wow.
Okay.
That's some tasty rolls.
You're just watching and waiting. You see this massive bird just kind of coming into view, and the bolt just soundlessly far enough away that you hear nothing, and it's kind of on the far range. This thing can shoot about 480 feet, and you just kind of max out the range on this thing as the bird kind of circles into view, and you just watch, and you just see this burst of feathers, and then this massive shape just spiral, and then just plummet right down. You just hear a you hear the crew around you as a raucous cheer goes up as the crew hey, that one first shot.
That was a hell of a shot, Flick.
Right.
See, this is why I wanted him to shoot it.
Lefty, Shorty, you did beautiful work.
I had full confidence in you.
You hear somewhere off, relative same distance, but kind of more off, to starboard, kind of this squealing, large, screeching sound, and kind of coming up with the horizon, you see 2 more of these large birds just, and they're coming directly for the ship now, just flying straight at you.
Got a few more of those shots in you?
I certainly hope so.
It's gonna take a moment to load that.
Righto.
Is there any way that we can assist in loading, speed up the process?
Yeah, if you want to kind of jump in and start trying to help out. What'd you call them, Lefty and Shorty? Was that?
Yep.
Lefty and Shorty Man 1. There is a second ballista at the front. If 2 more people want to kind of do a quick load on that one, then you can get both of them kind of loaded and lined up.
Or can load it, but if it's a dexterity weapon, there might be people other than me who would be more suited to fire it.
It has its own. Basically, you're once it's loaded, it's more the aiming kind of thing that comes into play. Yeah. So so who wants to do the loading and who's gonna do the shooting?
Like those who normally are of the melee persuasion should probably use that, since the rest of us have options. How far away are these birds?
They're rapidly closing. They're probably about 300 feet away at this point in closing. They seem to be able to fly very quickly with very large wings.
Sure.
And you figure 300 feet away, like you kind of watch them like, probably less than a minute. They're going to be on us easily.
Torque, be ready to roar and stomp around like you're going nuts. I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's great.
He just kind of grunts as he's slotting a ballista bolt into this thing and crank back the string.
Okay.
Prepare yourself to fight. Come, we must unite.
What else are you guys doing then? Here.
Well, I guess Dinar will load up another ballista.
I shall be preparing the crew with a rousing shanty of battle to translate into bardic inspiration on whoever is next firing a ballista.
Okay.
Draw forth your rapier and powder, set sail with us tonight.
All right, let me just get this loaded here.
So Flick and Torque are on the first ballista, and Dinar's on the second one? I think.
Sure.
How do we want to adjudicate me assisting Flick? Would that be sort of like granting the help action, or just like decreasing the time between loading or something?
It'll come into play with the I guess if you're helping Flick like the aiming and stuff, then he could have advantage on his perception.
Okay,
line up the shot. All right. So just for the sake of visuals, let's throw this up here. That's not how close they are at the moment. We'll just use that.
Oh god, we're fighting shoe bills.
I was like, I need something with a massive beak. So they kind of work out perfectly for that.
They can also eject their spine out of their mouths.
Well, these ones can't, but that's gross.
Well, not that we've seen so far.
Only a matter of time.
All right.
If they can't do it normally, we'll make them.
Mm-hmm.
You can force them to eject their spines out of their mouths. All right. So as you're lining up the shots, so Flick, go ahead and you can give me a perception check with advantage.
With advantage. This is where it all falls apart.
I did everything I could to help.
So 13. That's
13. Okay.
That's my lowest roll since that first 6 that I rolled. So.
All right. Go ahead and give me another d20, adding 6 to the roll for your shot.
Here you go.
Ooh.
I was due.
Does he have my bardic inspiration, or are we putting that on Torque?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. What did you?
I just said whoever is firing it next.
That would be Flick then. Yeah.
Okay, so you can add a d6 on that if you want.
I will do that. So 14 in total.
Fortunately, that's not gonna help.
Yeah.
Oh boy, these things are beefy.
It's better, but so this you line it up and kind of take the shot, and these two seem to be much more prepared for the situation. You managed to catch the one off guard. It definitely wasn't expecting that. These two are, and as the ballista bolt kind of fires off, you watch as surprisingly this large bird manages to just kind of almost like do like a bit of a roll to the side, dodging out of the way, and then swoops back in as it starts to draw closer. And it's getting close enough now. These are very large creatures, like think albatross, but even bigger, and you can just see this huge beak that looks like it probably pierced right through the ship on the front of this thing. Dinar, you are on the second ballista. You've got Shorty and Lefty helping you out here.
All right.
But they're not going to give you. They're using their expertise to load it and stuff, so the aiming is going to be entirely on you. So go ahead and give me a perception check, please.
I'm not great at these. And it proves 4 plus 1.
Oh. All right, you line it up and you think, okay, I got this. You unfortunately forget to put the locking pins back in place once you've chosen your angle of fire here. So go ahead and give me your attack roll.
Okay, and what is this plus anything?
It's a d20 plus 6.
D20 plus 6, okay. Ooh, I rolled a 19.
Okay.
Plus 6, so 25.
Okay, go ahead and roll 3d10 for me.
3d10.
Yeah.
Those are my d10s there. Oh, that's not great. All right, so 5 and 3 is 8, and 1 is 9.
9. Okay. You do manage to hit it, but your aim wasn't quite as true as you were hoping. So it just kind of like skims across the side of the bird, so it's going to take half damage.
Okay.
But we'll round that up. So it takes 5 from that. It just kind of tries to get out of the way, and you manage to just kind of just clip it. All right. They are rapidly closing in. They're probably at about. They're like full speed dashing. So they get about 160 feet in that round. And we're just kind of improvised initiative at the moment. So they're within like a good 140 feet of the ship now.
Do these things have a minimum range?
The ballista?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
The range is 120 to 480. So, I mean, if it's right in front of it, it's not going to make much sense to try and load it. But
yeah. So, based on how fast they're moving, how many more shots can we get off before they get here?
You figure you could probably get one more, because they're going to pretty much close the distance to the ship in the next movement. Like, it's actually impressive and scary that these things are just like swooping in super fast.
All right, Torque, set me up. Let's get one more in here before they're on top of us.
Right, I'm gonna load up another bolt, crank it back, make sure that the pins are in.
Okay.
And I add another bardic inspiration to it.
Okay, to Flick.
Yep.
All right, so Flick, go ahead and line up your shot, giving me a perception with advantage.
Perception with advantage. Here we go. Oof.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have your bardic inspiration. You can use it now, or you can use it on your shot. I'll let you decide.
So the perception, this will be the difference between doing half damage and full damage?
Basically, yeah, if you hit.
I'll use it here then. Hope that I just hit. That's better. So 14.
Okay, 14 on perception. All right, that's enough for the DC. So you managed to line your shot up well. Go ahead and make your attack for me, please. 20 plus 6.
Go. 18.
18 will hit. Go ahead and roll your 3d10.
3d10 and... Jeez.
Oh my word!
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
That's better than the 9-year-old.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you how many hit points these things have. Oh, I didn't mean to roll that. I didn't know that did that. They have 26 hit points actually.
Wow.
The 26 right on the dot. So again, you just line this thing up and like you watch this ballista basically just like go kind of like right through like the breast of this thing, and you watch like splinters of it kind of coming out. And it takes a moment, it seems, for the bird to kind of realize that it's dead. It's still kind of like flying, and then it's just like gliding, and then it's just falling. And just the momentum, just keeps it kind of going. and it just like dives, nose bombs, and makes a huge splash in the water as it sets down and disappears into the waves.
Hey,
Man, those damage rolls.
That's incredible.
You one-shotted 2 of them.
23 damage on one and 26 on the other. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Away, ho, haul away, we'll haul away
I
together.
gave you the kill in the other one because it was like such an amazing shot. It was just like
Haul away,
up and
Joe.
down, man. All right, Dinar, Lefty and Shorty, helping you to load the shot.
All right.
Line it up. Perception check, please.
That's not much better. That's a 6 + 1, 7.
Oof, okay. You think you got it. You kind of like, okay, yeah, I got it. Make your attack. 20
All right.
plus 6.
Plus
D20
6. Oh, where did that go? That bounced out. All right. That's a 16 plus 6, so 22.
22 will hit.
Then
3d10.
3d10.
Yeah.
That's a 10 and a 9 and a 2.
Nice.
So 19, 21.
So we'll half that to 10. Okay. This one hits a little bit more squarely, and you can see it kind of clips kind of along the bottom, and it actually tears open a wound. You can see, feathers go flying. There's definitely some flesh exposed, and blood kind of coming out of it. Lets out this screech of pain, and just kind of zeroes in your direction. And it is going to go into a dive bomb. And it's not going to be able to make an attack. It just gets to the ship and actually comes down and like crashes down on the front of the ship and just lets out this almost like a pterodactyl screech as it lands. And seeing the immense size of this thing now, it is huge. It's large mechanically, but in your perspective, it's just like, you didn't know that birds, just natural birds, were this big. It's bigger than you would expect. At this point, you probably could load the ballistas, but you might want to use other tactics. We'll kind of do it as a group initiative, so what do you guys want to do?
I think Torque is ready to get up in the close range.
Okay, so Torque's just kind of run in.
I'm about ready to let this thing have it too.
Okay.
I'll give him a slap on the ass on the way by. It's like, go get him, Tiger.
I think the
All
thing
right.
landing right in front of Dinar, he's gonna kind of stumble back, a little caught off guard. Well,
Okay,
not caught off
so
guard, but
I was
little-
kind of like,
yeah. That's a little
Rage or not
close.
to rage? That is the question.
I'll give you first shot here, Torque, since that was kind of the plan. You're going at it.
Yeah. I think Torque is going to rage for this. And so because he's doing that, I'm going to need this bird to make a dexterity saving throw.
Certainly. That's a 14.
Oh, unfortunate. That's a pass. So that means he's only going to take half of this.
Okay.
So one, like, but I'm also going to use an action to attack with my maul.
All right. Your anchor.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and take this thing out of the knees, basically. If it's anything like real life shoe bills, I know they got them knobbly knees. Seems like a prime target.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
That's a 23 to hit.
Yeah.
All right, so that is going to be 10 bludgeoning damage total.
I'm just gonna bring that up for the look at that maul there. That anchor.
Crack.
It's so big. I got a weird loading thing on my screen. 10 damage.
It's showing up on the Twitch, so it's all good.
That'll do it. You just big overhand, just kind of crack right at the side of the head, and you watch as this next, then it kind of collapses to the from the deck. There's like blood kind of oozing out of its side, starting to stain the deck red. But the rock beak has been taken out, and you hear a shout from the crew, "Huzzah! Huzzah!" The captain kind of comes up. I ain't never tasted rock beak before, but I guess we're having poultry tonight. Well done, lads. That was some fine shooting for the most part there.
What are
You'll
you
get the hang
saying,
of it,
Captain?
Dinar. You'll get the hang of it. Don't worry.
Look, I'm a magic user. These physical weapons, I'm two left thumbs, you know?
Yeah, it's all on the
There's-
wrist, Big D. Don't worry.
There's
about
room in this world for magical and mundane combined might, you know.
All right. I suppose you have a little bit of that, don't you?
All right. So as the crew kind of steps in and starts to basically salvage this giant bird and try to make what they can of it, basically make a meal. There's a number of curious individuals who are like, I've never tried rock beef before. Let's give it a shot. You get a close up look of this thing's beak now, and it looks like it is a shaped, almost like a stone tool, like imagine like a Stone Age, like a rock that's being chiseled and kind of sharpened to the point where it's got almost like an axe on it, but it's just thick and huge, and it's so solid looking that you imagine getting hit with this thing would hurt a lot. And you can see where they get their name, that this beak would be capable of penetrating pretty much anything, rock, stone, anything of the like. They kind of almost have a coloration to them that looks like a parrot. So it's like a cross between a giant eagle and a giant parrot with a shoe bill. It's a very odd looking exotic bird, but also very terrifying. You can see it's got these massive talons as well that they can also do a significant amount of damage. So definitely the kind of thing that you're happy to not have to fight close up, able to take out from a distance. All right. So with the rock beaks taken out, you managed to make your way all the way to the islands of the archipelago and into the shallows, and you can see now sort of where that one was sort of circling around. You can just make out what appears to be a mast, the very top of a mast, sticking out of the water, and you can see bits of flotsam and jetsam and debris just kind of floating in the waves. Some of it is washed up on some of the rocky bits of shore here and there. It does look like there was a fairly recent wreck. However, you can see signs of multiple wrecks in the area as well. There's bits of sail tattered here and there. There's all kinds of signs. This definitely does seem to be an area where lots of ships have met an unfortunate end. As you kind of get essentially to the closest that Captain Boone is willing to, he kind of orders the crew to set anchor and gathers you on the prow at the front of the ship. I'm not going to get any closer into the shallows there, just because we don't exactly know what sunk the ship. So I'm going to have to set a couple of rowboats out, and you gents will have to take those rowboats in and get a little bit closer. So this is as far as I'm going to take you, and the rest is going to be up to you to go exploring. Is there anything you need from me before you go salvaging there?
With the exception of Torque, none of us have the ability to really go down for any amount of time under the water. Do we have anything on board that might assist with that? Like a water-breathing potion, or...
Well, I have one that I keep on me in case of an emergency. Were to go over something I could kind of, take a quick chug of. Now I like you guys. You're a good crew. I gotta admit, I'm a little bit torn about the idea of parting ways with this one potion that I have.
20 gold.
It's understandable you wouldn't want to part with it, but
You're
keep in mind that
joking,
without
right?
being able to have it, we can't exactly get you the money that you need, can we?
Give me a persuasion check.
Talon is much more persuasive than Dinar.
Yeah, probably.
One should hope.
One should hope it's true.
13.
14.
Tell you what. We'll consider this a lending situation. In other words, I'll be hoping to get one back.
Keep it as an investment. I hear that's a thing that people who are in charge like to do.
Well, all the same, I'll give it to you. Just see that I get one back. Whenever we get a chance to come upon a place that supplies them, you owe me one.
Trust me, Captain Boone. Unlike some people, I make sure to keep my word.
No doubt of that, Talon. You've proven yourself trustworthy aboard my ship. So he kind of pulls it out and hands it to you, and it's a very like small, stout container with a big fat cork in it. And the cork looks like it's got like wax around it that's kind of sealing it, and the liquid inside. It at first glance it kind of looks like it's water, but it's got these air bubbles, almost kind of like a silvery, translucent look to them. The air bubbles just kind of floating around in the water in this bottle. He like reluctantly kind of hands it over. Like, all right, there you go. You have that. I don't have any more. You should be able to. If you take a good breath, you can dive down, and hold your breath for a little bit. As you get into the rocks here, you're looking at maybe about 20 feet down in some spots, 30 feet. You should be able to do a couple dives. I think you'd be okay.
All right, we'll keep it in reserve.
Good plan.
All right, let's get the launch in the water and let's get this show on the road, eh?
Yeah.
Now we'll be here, anchored right here. How long do you want us to wait? Actually, never mind. You know what? I trust you. You'll be back. We'll know if you aren't.
Yeah, you can see where we're going to be working, right? If we're
Hey,
going to go any further than that,
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
we'll let you know.
There's like rocks and stuff in the way. You're kind of down in that general area, so you guys do what you do, and I'll keep the ship just here.
You see any of
ready
them
for you.
big voids coming back? Could you give us a holler?
We'll shoot them off if we can.
All right, Lefty and Shorty, you guys are on big gun detail now.
Well, I mean that's up to the captain, but
Hey, well,
sure.
I'm putting in a good word for you. You were a fine ballista crew. These two know what they're doing.
Oh, it's part of our job, so I sure hope so.
And you certainly earned that paycheck.
They kind of look at each other like, "You get paid to do that?" Hey, Captain. The captain's like, "All right, good luck, good job. Yep, we'll see you soon." And he kind of takes the left-hand shirt and like walks him along, and looks over his shoulder, like kind of gives you a bit of a scowl.
You know, Flick, sometimes not talking is the right thing to do.
don't understand.
I didn't think you would.
All right. So setting off into the small rowboats, you kind of start to row your way into the shallows.
Who rows?
These are rowboats.
Oh no.
These are rowboats.
Torque will row the boat.
I have a black screen.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we're loading.
Oh, okay.
We don't need to row. I can simply manipulate the water to give us passage.
Well, I mean, if you really want to waste all on that, I guess you can.
It's a cantrip shaped water.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it'll be fast, but it'll get us where we want to go.
Is getting there fast?
I can make us.
Want? Because I think it might be.
I mean, based on my interpretation, I can use it to have us move 5 feet every round. So not quick by any stretch of the imagination.
All right. So this gotta do a shout out here. This map is brought to you by @Order of the Atlas on Twitter. I was dealing with them earlier today. Saw this map they were working on and just really cool job. So throwing that shout out there. It's awesome. It's a good map. So
yeah, it's nice.
Thank you, Order of the Atlas, for providing this map. It's a wonderful job. All right, so you come to a spot where there's lots of rocks kind of sticking up, and you can see the water, definitely shallows and stuff, and you can just kind of start to make out some shapes and stuff beneath the waves, and you can just see some stuff below. You're gonna have to try and really settle in and get underwater to really get a better look at what's going on down there.
Torque is going to draw out his shiny new trident. He's going to look over at Talon, who he's sharing a bow with, and just give him a nod. And then he's just going to tip himself over and just vanish into the water.
Talon will reach into a breast pocket and pull out the skeleton of a fish. Drop that in the water. Capture the wild things and bring them in line, and own what was never your right to confine, as it will turn into a small fish, and he'll give it a quick, and it will dive down to follow Torque.
That's awesome.
Okay. So on that, let me do.
And then Talon's eyes will roll back and go white.
Ooh.
Let me do that.
That's freaking cool.
Here
That's
we
awesome.
go.
Dude. I'm just going to scroll up and down so everybody on Twitch can see that.
This is going to sound a bit of a silly question, but how deep are these shallows?
At most, looking down, you're like, okay, that's about like 20, 30 feet down.
Okay, so swimming back up isn't going to be an ordeal.
No, not at
He
all.
says, having already jumped overboard.
Yeah. So yes, this is this map, basically a dual map thing. Again, working with Early Atlas and did this like really awesome reveal, which I was really excited to do. So I'm plugging that in there because I was really excited with this map. Really
that's
cool.
awesome.
It's a cool map. So yeah, you see. You're surprised, Torque. You're expecting to see shipwrecks, and you do see the remains of multiple ships, but you also see remains of something else, a structure. Hard to say what it is. A temple. It's hard to say. It's like just like the very tops of. You can kind of see some walls. You see a couple like what might be a ruined tower that's collapsed, and it almost looks as though the sand has kind of been moved away, and that this area has the ruins here have been hidden for a long time and are just sort of starting to be exposed by shifting currents and tides and the like.
Is it possible that I could attempt a religion check to figure anything out about this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Of course, that's going to be my first good roll of the night. But hey, we take those.
As you're looking at these ruins and just kind of gazing, looking at the walls, looking for any markers or signs or indications of what this might be, you can just kind of see here and there some markings on some of the bricks. Looking at the trident that you have and looking, and you can see, I see a trident mark. I see engraved. There's a trident mark, and you can actually see fallen off of one of the walls and just kind of sitting in the sand what appears to be some sort of plaque or marker. Part of it is obscured, but it appears to be like an etched wave with a trident sticking out of it. And as your eyes focus in and look upon this rune, this symbol, you hear in the back of your mind a voice, deep. You have never heard this voice before, but you immediately understand who it is that's speaking to you. Lost child. Torque. Do you know what awaits you? You claim to serve me. We shall see. The voice of Desfuna, goddess of the deep, rings out in your mind. And you're struck with an awareness that this is a sacred site, an ancient site to Desfuna herself, the goddess of the deep.
Orc is just going to grip his trident a little bit more tightly, look over his shoulder at Talon's fish familiar, and then just continue searching the ruins for the chest. Just kind of not so much swimming as much as he is just sort of trotting along on the seabed of the shallows.
Would I have noticed anything weird about Torque? Like, was there any visible?
Give me a perception check.
Okie doke. Is this my perception, I'm assuming?
Should I contest that with anything?
You're looking through your familiar.
Looking through the familiar, yeah.
It'd be your familiar's, your fish's perception check.
Well, I'm just wondering because the fish has like 7 wisdom.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because it's a fish or because it has terrible eyesight.
Could be either, but
I mean, if they're so wise, they'd probably stop biting on all those hooks.
I can do it with the fish. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but I can do that. So an 11.
Not terrible.
I mean, you notice him just kind of pausing and like gripping the trident for a moment, and there's just kind of like a stillness. I mean, he's normally quite still, but there's just like a moment where he's just very still.
I mean, that's just Torque.
So it doesn't seem too out of the ordinary for you.
Fair enough.
Dinar and Flick.
Yeah.
As you are on the surface here, still kind of looking down, and you see the Talon's eyes have kind of gone white as he's looking through his fish. And
he's just kind of sitting there
as it descended into the water. A wind starts to pick up.
No.
Just kind of a blowing breeze. And you swear you hear like whispers on it. These at once kind of a deep voice mirrored with a much higher pitched, kind of discordant, like speaking together, but also kind of off, in opposition to one another. You know this is not a natural wind. Dinar, give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, that was almost good. That's a 6 plus 5 for 11.
11. For the briefest of moments, you get a flash, remembering a ship, remembering former crew, remembering a situation that haunts you still, and you recall a wind, almost as if it's a dream, a memory that's not quite your own, but in this brief moment you remember that there was something about this strange wind that day, and you get chills as you hear these voices on the wind that bring that story back into your mind, bring those memories to light. And a word, a name comes unbidden to your lips, one that you've heard in passing, that you've understood to be, this deity, this entity, and without realizing, you find yourself speaking the word Desfuna.
Desfuna.
Gesundheit.
No, Desfuna. That's the wind. I've heard this. I've heard this before.
Okay. Is this wind going to wreck our little boats like it wrecked all the big ships here?
Well, seeing as how this is the god that Torque serves, I'd like to think not. But
Good.
My last encounter with this wind did not end well.
That is vague and unsettling, my good
It
friend.
is very. I wish I could be more specific.
I'm sorely tempted to go swimming with the turtle.
I'm not sure what's the better option, quite frankly.
Actually, are these little islands, like, are they sheer sided, like or is there somewhere we could like pull the boat up if we wanted to? If we want, like,
You wouldn't be able to pull the boat up onto it. Like you figure you could probably find a way to kind of like anchor it in. Like there's shelving a little bit, but if it's not something you could actually like pull up onto, they probably rise about at least 5 feet up out of the water, like right to the top of them.
We could tie it off and get up onto the land if we needed to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Torque's been down there a while. I guess he's poking around. Could we still see the mast of the sticking out of the water? Where is that?
You can see it roughly kind of over.
Am I having much luck, by the way?
In this direction over there. We'll get back to you in a second there, yeah. So Torque, as you're kind of looking around the ruins here, you can still kind of hear this this voice in the back of your head, the fish kind of following behind you, and there's a moment where like if you're in nature and everything kind of goes still and quiet and silent, and there's the absence of sound is actually what kind of catches you. Underwater, it comes across as sort of all of a sudden there's like the absence of fish, there's the absence of stirring, where there's just all of a sudden like a deep silence and a stillness, and for a moment everything just kind of goes calm. above water, the wind suddenly just vanishes as quickly as it appeared. And Torque, from near the center of these ruins, you see a couple of bubbles just kind of like coming up out of the seafloor. And all at once, above water and below water, you all just hear this. There's just kind of a shockwave of sound echoes out from this spot. There's rumbling. You see some of the rocks, little pebbles kind of breaking off of these rock islands. Sand is shifting below. You see a couple stones kind of fall out of some of these old ruined walls. And there's just a... And I'll go silent again. And that's where we're going to end.
Oh. Hangers.
It is after 11.
Yep.
We're after
Yeah.
so it's a good spot for us to
Always
wrap
go out
up
on a cliffhanger.
before we get into any deep stuff. But yeah, so that is where we will wrap it up for this week. Thanks for joining us and tuning in, coming along for our adventure. If you haven't yet checked out our, we have some podcasts that are up on Podbean. You can go to is it elderbraincast.podbean or is it Podbean?
If you got the know more than anyone else.
I know I should know. I just put it up there, but
if you've got the Podbean, here I'll put it up on my phone so that everybody can see.
Yeah, but you can look for the Elder Brain on Podbean. We've got some episodes up there. Our the audio of our previous episode is up there. We'll be posting those as well. But we'll be doing regular podcasts where we're talking about, you know, rules and character building and all kinds of D&D stuff. So check that out. Follow us on Twitter at elderbraincast. And we hope that you will join us for future episodes and everything else that we have to bring. But until next time, happy gaming, everyone, and good night. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.